Gentlemen, how's it going? Oh my god, my voice is cracking already. This doesn't bode well for a 4-hour stream. Or maybe I've just hit puberty again. Kind of like, what's his face? Pirate Software. Well, the opposite of Pirate Software, I guess it would be. Hello friends. How's it going, everybody? Let me put my background music on. I thought we'd go with John Carpenter's The Thing today, as I am a bit of a monster. How's it going, Hornet Works? How's it going, Nambak? How's it going, Bunny? Dobry Utra to the Russian bros. Howdy to the Americans. And fuck you to the Europeans. So, yeah, it's that time for my quarterly propaganda stream. Talking about shit that's going on in FaZe Connect land. But I thought I'd kind of expand the stream a little bit more today to talk about Vshoujo actually to begin with, because there's been some graduations with Vshoujo. And also kind of like at the halfway point, there was a clip from a stream that Pieber did a couple of days ago, or was it last night? I can't remember now. But there was a stream where Pippa made some comments about certain kinds of male VTubers, and I saw quite a few people got very defensive about that, and they weren't happy by some of the things she said. And as you all know, I fucking love talking about the subject of like male VTubers in this space and what goes on in that business. So I thought I'd want to deconstruct that clip a little bit, because I know some people, some newly starting male VTubers felt a bit self-conscious and worried by it as well. But I just want to emphasize the point. I think a lot of people are misunderstanding the point that Pippa was trying to make, and I want to try to reassure some people who are concerned by it. They're all gay. Yeah, all male VTubers are either gay or they're rampant sex pest, degenerate child predators, basically. There's no in between. Except for me, of course, because as you all know, I am Lord Maulington, the sexiest straight man in VTubing. Of course, I'm replacing Vox Akuma, who was previously the sexiest man in VTubing, until one day he decided to sell out his own people to be a Chinese sex slave. And if Ninja Sanji would like to take me to court on that one, I fancy my chances of winning, okay? I will stand by this comment. Vox Akuma, Chinese sex slave. Hey, Tempest. How's it going, Tempest? I don't like the later part you said. Guess I'm gay. You are very gay, Pascal. In fact, Pascal, I would go so far as to call you King of the Gays. All hail Pascal, King of the Gays. Hey, Rob. How's it going, buddy? So, I'm glad you like that one, though, for Crusade. Oh dear, I'm in one of those funny moods tonight on account of the heat wave, so expect some silliness. Yeah. And here I was thinking of becoming an F-18. Oh, there's already a VTuber who's already an aircraft. He's not an F-18, is he? I think he's a Russian aircraft. Is he an Su-27? What's the name of that VTuber again? Who's a Russian fighter jet, and he plays like a lot of War Thunder. I love that guy every time I see him. Su-27 hate. Yeah, I agree. Su-27 hate. It seems that King of the Gays is a monarchy. Homosexuality is a monarchy. Yes, that's correct. Maulington's the only British male VTuber worth watching. Change your minds. No, I completely agree with that. You're absolutely right. I'm the only British male VTuber worth watching. Unfortunately, guys, an awful lot of British VTubers, whether they be male or female, have a chronic case of the shit lib. Unfortunately, it's what happens when you live on this communist island. But we're here to talk about VTubing, not politics. We'll be talking about politics this Friday. I've got a very spicy, very fun stream for this Friday coming up. Hey, Hoppy, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you, my friends. So yeah, let's move on to today's agenda. So moving on. So can you see? Yeah, you can see it. Okay. Oh shit, I forgot. Oh no, it's not July. Technically it's not July today. Yeah. Oh shit, I fucked up. Okay, so on today's agenda, I'm gonna be very briefly shilling for Oshi Push, because I'm doing a donathon which starts today for an Oshi Push tournament. I'm then going to be talking about FaZeCon 2026. Oh yeah, I'm going to be talking about is Vshoujo fucked? I don't think it is, but there's questions to be asked about what the hell is going on over at VShoujo at the moment. We're going to be talking about, obviously, it's FaZe Connect's, well, a couple of days ago, it was FaZe Connect's 4-year anniversary, and I've got a mountain of highlights from Offkai that I want to show you guys. So, yeah, it should be good. Talk about the 3D concert as well, maybe, and we'll talk about that mildly dramatic Pippa clip that entered my feed today that I want to talk about. Zen Friends accusations gone. Indeed, Dragon Lord. Yeah, we'll see what happens with VShoujo in the future. There's a point I want to make about that. Yeah, I really liked Saba's debut, actually. I did watch Saba's debut, and I gotta say, I do really like her eyes. I really like the expressiveness of her model. If you've got the cash to spare, I do think it is really worth getting some of the best rigging out there, because it really just makes a night and day difference in the whole picture of it. It really just elevates the entertainment to a whole new level. I mean, a big part of the reason why I got into VTubing in the first place wasn't really due to like the culture or the Oshi nice idol side of things. It was because I was just like captured by how great some like Girl DM's 3D tracking was, and I was like, oh, that'd be so fun to puppet a highly expressive VTuber model that kind of reminds me of a kind of Disney Pixar animated movie. That looks really fun. She sung Country Roads. As soon as she sung Country Roads, like even grown ass big bearded burly men were breaking out the OMGs and were crying. It was a thing to behold. The tech is very fun, Nova Crusader. You're absolutely right. Okay. So, yeah, Donathon is VShoujo, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Let's move on. Okay, so, yeah, here's the quick slide on the Donathon. So, I am planning to organise and host tournaments for the VTuber trading card game Oshi Push, who is currently collaborating with FaZe Connect, if you didn't know already. I think if you head to the description of my comment section here on the stream, you'll be able to go to the Japanime Games site and check out like the cards and buy anything there if you want to. But yeah, I'm addicted to Oshi Push. Even if you don't care about FaZe Connect, it's a really addictive, well thought out, highly entertaining card game. So I was very impressed with that. I'm very proud to be an affiliate for Oshi Push. They've even asked me, actually, they asked me the other day if I could write lore summaries for FaZe Origins for the Oshi Push game. So they basically asked me, since I'm like the FaZe Connect historian, like autistic basically, and I've literally studied like in an academic sense, day one to like current day for all the FaZe Origins at the moment. They were like, hey, can you like just give us like the rundown of how their career and like how their lore has gone over the years? Like, I don't mean like their lore as VTuber characters, but like their personal and professional development as well. So I'm looking forward. Hopefully I'm able to do them justice on that. So yeah, that should be good fun. So just to quickly go over the Donathon tiers. So starting from today to the end of this month, we've got, you know, your standard stuff. I'd put it in pounds, but dollars. Let's just say dollars. $20, chapter size, Twitter post, blah, you know, random shit. And then we're never going to hit it, so I felt confident to put these two here. If we somehow make it to $1,000, I'm going to wear a maid outfit and call you all Goshujin Sama for a stream. But that's never going to happen. We're never going to hit 1k, so that's fine. And again, if we make it to $2,000, again, which isn't going to happen, I will cosplay Hatsune Miku and do the caramel dancing. All right, and it's not going to happen. So yeah, you guys can beg all you want. It's not happening. Yeah, opening the compacts right now. Actually, I hope you get some nice pools, Hobisaki. I think they're all the same. I think all the convention packs are the same. So I think you'll get the same everybody else did. But I think there's like a bit of RNG in which Persona pack contains the foils. I think the foils are different in each one though. Don't be gay. Exactly, that's the thing. I can't be gay because it's not going to happen. So I'm not going to put myself in that position. And oh my god, this is actually, hang on, give me 1 second. This is a very bad choice for for background music. It's starting to piss me off. It's annoying me. What should we play? Oh Christ! Having background music is like the most difficult thing of streaming. It's like, what the fuck do I want to put on? No, I won't do. Stop. Not that one. That's copyrighted music. Hopefully that 2-second thing won't trigger it. Let's do this song, the old classic. It's one of my favourite songs. Have this on repeat for 4 hours. See if that annoys you. Use Bach. I'm more of a Mozart fan than a Bach fan, but Bach is nice. Sarah said she couldn't get a new SMR mic right away not too long ago, but ended up with a Halo mic before a stream ended. Don't tempt chat. Yeah, but the thing is, Hoppy, I'm a male VTuber. No one gives a fuck about male VTubers, so it's not happening. You see, the thing is, right, if you got people like Ugu Bear, for example, who gets herself into $20,000 worth of debt because she fucked up her taxes, and then she can go to Twitter and she could be like, "Hey guys, I fucked up my taxes and I owe the IRS $20,000. Tee-hee, whoops, ooh-woo, I'm going to start streaming. Please give me $20,000 because I'm a complete retard who can't manage their finances." And then everybody just, she'll get $20,000 in a week, no problem. If only I was a cute girl on the internet, and then I could just choose not to do my taxes and get you all to pay the deficit that I owe the IRS. But anyway, let's move on to the VShojo stuff. So again, I've got a very nice title here for this slide that isn't absolute hyperbole whatsoever. So the question is when are you moving to the United States? I don't know. I failed this year's green card lottery. The green card lottery opens up again in October, so I don't know. Maybe I'll get in next year's green card lottery. So is VShojo fucked? I don't think VShojo's fucked, but there's a lot to deconstruct about what on earth the value, if any, there is for VShojo and what it offers its talents and what it's going to be doing going forwards. So border isn't closed, Pascal. I think you'll find the border is not closed. There are many ways still to get in the United States. So we're going to start with the news. So General I worked in corporate Giga has quit VShojo. Excuse me, I've just eaten. And she wants to get rid of middle management and take back control of her business, which is understandable. Giga's a very business-oriented person. She likes to remind us every 5 minutes that she worked in corporate. So I kind of understand that. But then, at the same time, right, there's certainly... this is an eyebrow-raising kind of statement she's made for quitting. So the emphasis to make is that she isn't quitting VShojo on bad terms. But the whole point of VShojo really is it's meant to be a middle management kind of firm that is used primarily for networking and to like sort out your merchandising and a lot of your business for you, so you can concentrate more on your streaming, the thing that actually makes you popular in the first place. So of the people who are leaving VShojo, Giga's one is the most striking to me, not actually the leaving of Zentrea, although we'll get to that in a second. And yeah, it's because what's eyebrow raising about Giga's reason for leaving is that that's the whole point of VShojo, surely. So if they're not doing a good enough job of the middle management for their VTubers, then what value do they actually provide their members? It's surprising. I don't think VShojo outright is going to collapse, because VShojo as a I'm getting ahead of myself. Let me get to that in a second. I'll get to that point later. So Giga's quit VShojo. Zentrea has quit, which is huge because Zentrea is one of the most popular VTubers. What the fuck is this song? Oh, I know why. I didn't fucking hit loop. There we go. We're back to normal now. Yeah, so Zentrea is a massive one because she's one of the founding members of VShojo. She's one of the most popular VTubers in the world. Zentrea is like just as much the face of VShojo as Iron Mouse is, in my opinion. Arguably, I'd say Zentrea is more important to VShojo than Iron Mouse is, because Zentrea seems to really champion the brand a lot more than Iron Mouse does. Iron Mouse tends to really just be her own thing, but it's like, yeah, I'm part of a group called VShojo, but this is the Iron Mouse show, whereas Zentrea is like, Zentreya is like the one who does most of the comms and does most of the hype building around VShojo. So to lose Zentreya, they've lost their best, what's the word, cheerleader, essentially. They've lost their best PR person, funnily enough, was Zentreya. So we'll see how things are going forwards there. Marcy would have to leave, and I think she'd sooner just bite herself than leave. Yeah, exactly, that's right. I think as long as at least, I mean, Iron Mouse could just single it wouldn't even be a group at that point, but as long as Iron Mouse is around, like VShojo will live on. But I'm going to talk about Henya and Michi in a second, because I do think quite highly of Henya and Michi and what they do for VShojo. Zentreya brings in VTubers and Iron Mouse brings in normies. Yeah, that's a very good point to make. She does. I think Iron Mouse she tends to try to push the boundaries and tries to attract more normies, anime people who hate VTubing, right? She wants to get rid of those bridges between VTubing and normies. And there's a very strong business case for her to do that. But also there's a lot of negatives that come towards taking that approach to this sector, and it's tricky actually, because the age-old point is gatekeeping hobbies is a good thing, because if we bring in a huge influx of normies into VTubing, then the same thing happens that will happen to anime, where now you get a flood in of like normies who think that peak anime is stuff like Naruto or fucking God help you Boruto these days, One Piece, the trash shonen slop, right? And they're the people who really fucking just despise the lollies and any like weirdness, wackiness, craziness, any kind of art or imagination or Japanese weirdness in anime. They just want to curb stomp it out, and they just want to enjoy their template actions shonen slop. And the problem is that if Iron Mouse, continues to break that boundary between VTubing and normies, then we'll get those people come in, we'll get normies come in, and VTubing will become essentially just an accessory, rather than having like a clearly defined sort of general culture. And that in itself is a very difficult concept, I guess, to kind of break down, because there's arguments about whether there is a VTubing community and like what VTubing is, and it's like VTubing is a medium. There is no singular VTubing community as an entity. But even though there's no real singular VTubing community, there is a general overlying sort of culture in VTubing. We have there are rules, right? We have etiquette. We have expectations of behavior in terms of the relationship between a fan and a VTuber, but then also what is and isn't acceptable. And the problem is that if you just open up the floodgates to people from outside, the culture, and they don't go through the proper screening process, then they come flooding in. They don't give a shit about any of that stuff. They change it, they push you out, and then they make you the minority who have enjoyed this thing since the start. They kind of basically put you on the reserve. It's basically a form of colonialism, right? It's like what the North American settlers did to the quote unquote natives. They're not exactly natives themselves, but you know what I mean. We all get shoved into reservations essentially. So there's that negative aspect to what Iron Mouse and to a lesser extent VShojo as a whole do. But at the same time though, I do like some degree of like normies and continual expansion of VTubing to different groups out there for two main reasons. The first of which is I like some new blood and some new pair of eyes coming into this kind of culture. Otherwise it becomes stagnant, it becomes boring, and it becomes Reddit basically, where everyone's just beating the same tired old memes and trends to fucking death, and everything becomes stagnant and shit and boring. However, the other point I'd like to make as well is that if you continuously bring in new people, then it gives smaller to medium-sized content creators, I guess, it gives them more power, it gives them more freedom. It prevents a cult effect from happening to some extent. It prevents like all the biggest VTubers from having like a mafia, a monopoly from like mean girling all the power, all the audience, all the money to themselves, right? Because it's like if we had absolutely zero form of new blood coming into VTubing and we kept it as a super small niche community of like fucking internet autistics and spastics and weirdos and whatever, then basically all the power in VTubing would be concentrated around like VShoujo and the big Twitch indies. And again, I do respect the talents and the skill of as entertainers that the big Twitch indies and VShoujo have. But I fucking despise Twitch culture so much. I fucking hate like the typical Twitch viewer, whether VTubing or otherwise. So yeah, I would not like to see a world where Iron Mouse, VShoujo, or like your Shy Lilies basically control, like have a near monopoly on VTubing influence, right? I like the fact that people like FaZe Connect can come along and claw back some kind of a market share and do very well for themselves. Yeah, anyway, let me catch up on chat for a little bit here whilst I still can. Hey, Lion, how's it going, buddy? Can stay for an hour before I leave, but in my opinion, I just don't see the appeal of Zentraia. Yeah, on a personal level, I don't particularly care for Zentraia's content, but I understand why people really like VShoujo and the big Twitch indies. They've got the right politics. They appeal to they really fucking solidly appeal to Generation Z. You know, they're always memeing, they're always just yapping, and you know they have this charisma, they have this kind of attitude in them, right? That's just it's kind of like the inverse of people like us, like the average FaZe chud, right? They're like the inverse of the FaZe chud who was raised by the internet, but we were raised on like, you know, the Southern Awful forums or 4chan, for example. Now I know like a lot of people in VShoujo themselves who are raised by 4chan, but I think the FaZe Connect community tends to lean in the older bracket of the chud. So we were on the internet back in the day where, you know, we were throwing around homophobic, you know, anti-Semitic slurs, sometimes racial slurs without a care in the world, right? Whereas the VShoujo, like the average VShoujo, the virgin VShoujo viewer grew up in the era of 4chan, where it's basically Reddit with the occasional slur, right? Is essentially what I'm trying to say. Oh yeah, Newgrounds as well. Yeah, Newgrounds to the win. Yeah, I'm a YouTube nationalist. I don't want all these Twitch refugees coming to YouTube as Twitch continues to shit the bed. God, I miss those Flash games so much. I really like that zombie one, those zombie Flash games where you could like, in between each round, you'd go looking in houses and you could get like money and guns and shit. And extra survivors. That was a damn good Flash game. Oh, there's Autumn War as well. That was an amazing like strategic, tactical zombie game. Autumn War, that was fantastic. Sometimes I wonder who the bigger chud FaZe watchers are, or FaZe invaded chuds. I think Murray EN, funny enough, is probably The Last Stand. That's it, Felix. The Last Stand, that's the one. Yeah, I think Murray has probably brought in the largest influx of FaZe, not FaZe chuds, of chuds since 2-3 years ago when Pippa was still, you know, crazy schizo yabbit woman, which I think is a good thing, honestly. I do think Murray EN is one of the better hires that FaZe Connect has brought in for quite a while. Again, oh my god, I'm tangenting already. I'll finish my point and then I'll move on. But the reason why I really like the addition of Murray EN is because her fan base are extremely FaZe adjacent, in the best way. And I don't know, I feel, and this is just my feelings, that since Generation 3, we've had a very large influx of kind of, they're not exactly Niji sisters, right? But we've had a large influx of people who unironically think that old Pippa was like problematic and bad and, you know, shouldn't be around anymore. And it's not like I want FaZe Connect to be like chuds only and like fucking, you know, non-base people to piss off. It's good. I think it's a good thing to have a relatively balanced and diverse fan base, but I think that in the equilibrium of Phase Connect, I do think it should lean more heavily onto the chud than even the apolitical and the kind of Generation Z, more liberal or shitlib kind of person. And that's because, quite simply, again, you might disagree, but this is my honest to God thoughts. As annoying and stupid and overly silly the super chuds can be sometimes with their, with their Holocaust jokes and fucking whatnot, at the end of the day, the chuds don't usually massively spurg out if someone has like a silly moment or says something too problematic. I mean, they do sometimes go too far and cause problems, like the super chud element of the Phase community. But normally the only thing that agitates them is it's like a shitlib take, basically. So as long as the Phase Connect talent isn't saying shitlib stuff, they tend to be quite quiet and keep that shit on like 4chan or any of the other sites, really. Whereas the problem with the other side is that they kind of the Generation Z kind of person, the kind of shitlib, what they do is they suppress the free-spirited behavior that made us all love Phase Connect in the first place, honestly. So yeah, it swings and roundabouts. It's difficult to balance. Reddit is only good for VTuber drama. Well, this is the thing. The Virtual Asylum is it's the best platform for VTuber drama, in my opinion. Reddit's fucking awful, but I guess Reddit's good for capturing like VTubing news quite quickly, because there's infinitely more people on Reddit. So anything that's happening on Twitter is on Reddit within minutes, essentially. Being a chud is being free. Exactly, that's right. I'm a chud, but I am free. Am I the only one, or did Phase Connect loosen some boundaries for lewd stuff on X? I think you're right, honestly, Sample. Again, this is kind of the thing that's kind of like worried me a little bit about the direction that Phase Connect is going, is that they're considerably like more lewd and Yuri baiting and, doing the lewd tubing shit than normal. I mean, it's always been around, right? Urika and Leah have always been the Les Maxin husband-wife, like fucking mega gay, couple since forever, right? And I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with that in and of itself. Like, I don't care if for a bit of silly Yuri baiting or lewdness, but again, a big part of the reason why I like the introduction of Mari Ian and her fan base is it kind of reinforces our sides who don't want Phase Connect to basically become, generic cute girl trend chaser corporation that led to that was the cause of organizations like well, they're not dead yet, but the dying of organizations like Idol or EIEN or the others, right? I mean, those organizations had some genuinely terrific talents, but the problem always is with these smaller YouTubing corporations is that there's really nothing to distinguish. Oh yeah, and Globee as well, Globee EM, for example. There's very little to differentiate them from the millions of other like mo blob VTubers who act silly or lewd or girly and shit, right? Big part of the reason why Phase Connect is successful, not only because of the community, but also they've actually got some kind of unique identity. So you don't go to a Phase Connect stream and you can go, well, I could watch this Phase VTuber be cute and ooh-woo, or I could go fucking watch Shy Lily or Hololive do it instead, right? And they're much more popular and probably better at it, right? So yeah, there's that. Phase Idols commenting on Agamata and the puppy stuff. Yeah, I've actually had to unfollow. I fucking love Agamata to death. I don't mind Agamata, but I did have to unfollow like people like Puppy and Calfin, honestly, because it's just constant. I was just in my feed, it was just fucking literally non-stop drawings of like Lumi's feet and her tits and other lewd shit, right? And it's like, look, I don't mean to sound like I don't mean to sound like a raging homosexual, okay? Like, as we'll get into in a minute, I'm going to show you a copious amount of Iori's cosplay, of Iori's cosplayer, so don't get me wrong, I do like that stuff. But again, when it's like fucking all day, every day, this but Luby, you know, all this fucking lewd fan art. It's like, okay, this is getting to the point of obnoxiousness now. Like, please move on and do something else, because this is boring. But yes, you're right, Food, though. It's like the FaZe artists are extremely funny, and that's the thing about them. I think that's what sets many of the FaZe fan artists well above some of the other VTuber Corporation fan artists, is that they've got this absolutely cracking sense of humor. And I reckon a big part of the reason why that's the case is because they don't have to worry about the, you know, like the Puritan Gen Zers in the Hololive fandom, or like the social justice warriors in the VShojo and the Niji fandom, you know, fucking breathing down their neck and trying to cancel them for making a lewd fan art or making some mildly distasteful jokes about their VTubers, right? Being British already makes you sound fruity by default. Hobo, I'm gonna call ICE and have you fucking deported if you call me fruity one more time. Oh my god, the fucking Nugget saga was hilarious. You know, funny enough, when the whole Nugget saga started, I didn't actually understand what a nugget was at first. I thought that it was like some kind of like weird, kind of like Weeble style drawing, where they just randomly decided to draw like the arms and legs in a super small deformed kind of style as some kind of like weird artistic aesthetic. I didn't know nuggets were amputees, but then once I came to a sudden realization one day, so I was like, wait, what the fuck? People sexualize amputation? I know not everybody who likes nuggets necessarily, you know, has a fetish for amputation, but then I started like looking at some of the comments and I was like, hang on a minute, people were actually getting off to the idea of Jelly having her limbs removed. What the fuck? But I shouldn't be surprised, this is the internet. But yeah, the Nugget saga caused a massive amount of drama, actually, and nearly started a civil war. I think the Nugget drama is like genuinely probably the biggest drama we've had in the community since fucking Yuri's termination. Probably like equally as dramatic as Yuri's termination, the Nugget saga. So it just goes to show the First Connect community isn't actually as strong and cohesive as we thought it would. All it would take is one highly inappropriate trend for us to start eating each other. Oh, you think it's about vulnerability? Yeah, I don't know. I get a very visceral reaction to nuggets, to be honest. I kind of look at the nugget stuff and I'm like, oh god, this makes me very uncomfortable. It makes me very uncomfortable. I can see the funny sides, but yeah, it's not for me. Have you saw that Midas? You know, I don't know anything about Midas Odyssey Inferno. I've seen a lot of FaZe clippers have started retweeting and clipping Midas as well. I should probably check her out, since so many FaZe clippers like her. But yeah, I should probably start watching her soon as well. I'm not intentionally turning girls into Katawawa shoujos. Sheena says, yeah, oh yeah, poor Sheena. Yeah, Sheena wasn't very happy with. I mean, Sheena had a very reasonable and very mature take, as you'd expect from Mimo about the nugget stuff, right? And actually, let's talk about Mimo's tweet for just a second. We're already massively derailing from the stream, but I like this though. I've said this before. I really like how Mimo says it as she is, but she has this great way of explaining things, right? So the way when Sheena doesn't like something, the way she tends to communicate this with people is she says, look guys, there are these trends, or there are these things going on in the community, and I'm just going to say it right now, okay? I don't like it, and I don't want to see it. However, that's just my opinion, you know, that's me. You're free to do whatever you want at the end of the day, but just understand, okay, that if you do things I don't like, I'm not gonna give you any attention. I'm not gonna like it, and I'm not gonna appreciate it, right? And I really like that approach. I think that's fair enough, because I think what we see a lot of in the VTubing space is that, you know, you don't necessarily know where boundaries are, right? And someone starts a stupid trend, and to begin with, because the trend hasn't really expanded yet, people don't know that it's distressing or annoying to people. So one artist starts a trend, and then loads of people jump on, and then when it's already like exploded to massive proportions, these subjects of that trend start coming out and saying like, this is gross, this is weird, fucking stop, or I'm gonna stop blocking you. And then what happens is that you get the white knight effect now, where all of a sudden people start, immediately white knighting for the talents and going, oh yeah, well, you guys doing this trend, you're all dickheads, you're retards, you're wankers, you fucking, what's wrong with you, what the fuck is your problem, etc., right? And it's like, well, for one thing, the talent's already told them off. They don't need you jumping in and coming to their defense, you fucking simpleton. But second of all, right, it's like, it's like, well, a joke, and we don't all have the same sense of humor, right? So people at the butt of a joke, the subject of a joke doesn't have to like or appreciate it. As long as you don't go doing it to their face, right? You respect those wishes, that's fine. And it's annoying when like community members of that person invade another person's space and they harass that person and get them to stop. I think the correct approach to this kind of stuff is for the talents to just come out and be like, look, I don't like it. You're free to do it, okay? You go ahead, do your thing, but fuck off. Basically, I'm not gonna like it, not gonna retweet it, I'm not gonna recognize it. So you suffer the consequences if you want to continue doing that, which I think is fair enough. I don't like this whole jumping down people's throats thing. Just the talent can police their own community. They don't need you white knighting for them. I feel like the white knighting came after Lumi said she didn't like nuggets. I think it was primarily when Lumi said she didn't like nuggets, but I think it was some confusion over something Jelly said as well. I can't quite remember what it was, but certainly it really amped up when Sheena made her comment. But again, I think people extrapolated the wrong thing from Sheena's comments. She Sheena and Jelly both had the best takes on the whole nugget saga, I think. Yeah, people just want attention. It's a cheap way to get attention, guaranteed replies. Yeah, it makes you look good. It's virtue signaling, right? It makes you look good, moral and virtuous because you're coming to defend, the person we all love from the people causing problems. But again, it's like the funny thing is a lot of these people who are white knighting and virtue signaling against the nugget trend, a lot of these people themselves like go too far sometimes and like say and do really weird shit on Twitter, right? So it's like kids in glass houses shouldn't throw stones either. Yeah, I saw Tenma's rage. I mean, that's the thing though. That's to be expected from Tenma. That's part of the course for Tenma. She's always been that way. I didn't know if she was actually joking or she's dead serious when she said about the anger management thing. I can't tell if she was like memeing or if she genuinely meant it. I could tell Tenma was genuinely angry, but she tends to have like a visceral reaction to things that she really likes and that she really doesn't like. And then what usually happens with Tenma is after a couple of weeks or months, she'll calm down and then things get reset back to normal, right? That's just Tenma. That's how she is. Yeah, she apologized. But yeah, don't forget, Tenma's the woman who, after a bit of, pushback over the Hogwarts Legacy thing, immediately went to fucking genocide, right? I thought that was based and funny. But yeah, remember, right? A bit of ribbing, a bit of shithousing over the Hogwarts Legacy stuff. She went straight to get the rope. Fucking funny. Yeah. It's very hard to tell the Canadian accent, that's right. 4 years of Phase Connect, I still can't understand a fucking word that Tenma says, but it makes her 10 times funnier than she is already at the end of the day. Is there a clip on Lumi? Want to see a take? There was a clip. I don't know if there was a clip. I don't know. I don't think any of them talked about it on stream, did they? It was all kept to Twitter. That's the thing, guys. Twitter's really shit and gay. But the reason why I have a Twitter account is because the entertainment of Phase Connect does not stop when they hit the end stream button. Like, Phase Connect is highly entertaining on Twitter as well. Like, the shit they do, the banter they have, the way they react to things. Like, Phase Connect on Twitter is in itself peak entertainment. Sometimes they're even funnier on Twitter than they are on stream. I can't identify Tenma's accent, but I love it. Oh. Actually, on that subject, let's tangent even more into this tangent. I want to show you guys something. I don't know if Furlow's here or if he's going to watch the VOD, but I need to thank Furlow for introducing me to this VTuber. If I can find them a second. I've subscribed to them, but their name is Chinese, and I don't know how to write that Chinese character, and I don't know how to say it in English. Hang on, let's just see if I can find it quickly. underneath. Here we go. I found it. Is this it? Is this her? Here we go. Okay, hang on, guys. Right, check this sick shit out. Now, I want you to know. I'm not going to say anything. When you listen to this VTuber's voice, okay, I want you to tell me who she reminds you of. I want you to tell me who she reminds you of. Now, let me just find the goddamn video. My internet's being very laggy. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh god, I'm gonna be fucking demonetized now actually after doing this one, but whatever, it's worth it to introduce you to this gem. Alright guys, watch this shit. Check this out. Right, okay, the point of this exercise is, okay, who does this sound like? Like fucking Tenma, right? She sounds just like her. we found Chinese Tenma singing Russian songs. That's incredible, right? Oh my god! Let me put this in the comment section for you if you want to go check that out later. There you go. Okay, am I not gonna lose everything if I come out of here? No, I'm not. Okay, good. There you go. There you guys, go check that woman out. I subscribed. She's absolutely amazing. I love her music. Yeah, thank you, Inferno. Yeah, let's get back to the VShoujo topic. So, what would be the implication in the VTubing industry if Brave manages to buy VShoujo? Okay, yeah, let's talk about Brave and VShoujo. So let me just quickly go through the bullet points, and then we'll continue on with that. So, again, the reason why I would say, is VShoujo fucked? I don't know. Is because Zentrey is gone, General Giga's gone, Haruka Caribou only streams once every 1,000 years now, Matara Khan is gone, Fruits fucking disappeared for 8 months. I don't know if she's cheating on another private first class or something in the army. Kason and Iron Mouse tend to just do their own thing, really. But there are still two bright souls who are carrying on the fruit derogatory. There are still two bright souls carrying on the greater branding of VShoujo, and that's Henya and Michi. It seems to me like on the English side of things, Henya and Michi are the only two people who still actually give a fuck about VShoujo as a brand. They regularly collab with each other, they regularly push the group, whilst the others are kind of just doing their own thing. It's rather than treating VShoujo as kind of like an afterthought. So good on Henya and Michi for doing their part to give this group like an actual purpose in the minds of VTubing. Can I have Pika? Oh my god, you know, every time we bring up Henya, I'll have to say it, and we bring up Pikami, I miss Pikami's kaiju model so much. I fucking love Pikami's kaiju model. It was so good, and it was taken away from us. Why? I want her kaiju model back. And yeah, so there's been some rats going along, okay? And some of the rats are about VShoujo being bought out by Brave Group. Now, Brave Group absolutely does have the money to buy out VShoujo, but I guess my first question would be, and again, the reason the rat is that VShoujo is about to be bought out by Brave Group, and then people are leaving because they don't want to be part of VShoujo whilst it's part of Brave Group. So they're essentially getting out now whilst they're ahead. Because if you guys remember, this time last year, I did say that I think the idol talents who are going to remain in idol will regret being under idol whilst Brave Group takes over, and I think I was proven right with that one. Oh really? So Proctor's put some validity to it as well. I didn't actually know. I haven't been following the news of it on TVA. So Proctor's claimed that he's heard it from 3 independent sources. Well, I do. It's not. Proctor's not usually wrong about these kinds of things. He normally doesn't have a definitive remark on this kind of news until he's absolutely certain. So if Proctor's convinced, then I guess it must be happening then. which is really shocking to me because the thing about Brave Group is that they've basically fucked up almost every VTuber corporation they've acquired so far. None of them are making any money. They're all hemorrhaging money, okay? So Globy EN is a fucking disaster. And I told you guys as well, by the way, as soon as I followed Kiri Kilovolt's past life for a long time before she was Kiri Kilovolt. And I'm convinced Kiri's going to graduate soon because she's no longer graduated on a previous account. She's set it to hiatus status now. So you've got Kiri's probably going to graduate soon, and then when Kiri graduates from fucking Globy, the whole thing is going to start collapsing under itself. Although I do really like Rhubarb as well. Rhubarb's great, but I think that basically Kiri carries Idle EN, Globy. Brave Group also has VSBO. Now, VSBO is actually an extremely successful, it's a VTuber organization, mostly Japan-based, but it is global now. Mostly based in Japan. Now, VSBO is doing extremely well for itself, to be fair, but that's not because of Brave Group. That's in spite of Brave Group. VSBO's own management team that they had before Brave Group took over were basically turning it around. It's kind of like the old correlation doesn't equal causation thing. Like the German economy was doing extremely well before Hitler, well, was starting to become extremely strong before Hitler became Chancellor of the Exchequer, right? It's when Chancellor of the Exchequer, the Chancellor, Hitler managed to kind of come into power in Germany just as the German economy was bouncing back, and then he kind of takes credit for it. But again, it wasn't Hitler who did that to the economy. He was just fortunate enough to be in power when the bounce back started. So kind of the great boom of post-Weimar Germany is attributed to Hitler when it really wasn't. And it's the same thing with much of Brave Group's successful VTuber groups. This is like Brave Group takes over, the VTuber corporations start to get much stronger, they start to do much better financially, the talents, the projects all improve. But with VSPO's case, their own internal team did that. But yeah, Brave Group's fucked up Idle. They've basically killed Idle. Brave Group's basically killed Globy. V4 is doing pretty well for itself. I do really like V4, but given how much money Brave Group has spent on V4, V4 are a relatively disappointing VTuber organisation. And then what else is there? There's VSPO doing very well. Oh, I'm missing one. Who the fuck am I missing? I'm missing someone else. Globy, V4, Idle. But yeah, I guess the kind of point I'm making is, if they buy out Vshoujo, they're gonna if they've already failed every attempt, every acquisition that they've received so far, then why do they hate money? Neoporte, that's it. Thank you, Inferno. Neoporte, that was it. There we go. Neoporte, that's what I was thinking of. But the point is, right, is that every time that Brave Group takes over a VTuber organization, they just make it worse, and they spend a fuck ton of money making it worse as well. So they've got so many VTuber groups under their umbrella now, they keep mismanaging them all. What makes them think they're going to get anything out of Vshoujo, right? I do think Brave Group is perhaps the greatest evil we currently have in VTubing. Even more, like a million times worse than Niji-Sanji. I think that if Niji-Sanji is the 9/11 of VTubing, then Brave Group is like the 9/11 times 1,000 of VTubing. And I'm certain that basically every group that Brave Group gets its grubby little hands on, they're gonna destroy it. They're gonna kill it. They're gonna mismanage it, and it's gonna cause a lot. It's basically going to kill a lot of the competition in the VTubing sphere as well, which is a bad thing, which is what we don't want. Funnily enough, Brave Group are probably going to be Brave Group are, funny enough, as an organisation, probably Faith Connect and Hololive's like best friends, because they're killing all of Faith Connect's and the Hololive's competition for them by being retarded. It's crazy. So yeah, Brave Group hate. So if Brave Group are going to buy out Vshoujo, I don't see the point. They're going to lose a lot of money. They're going to fuck it up. And on that basis then, yeah, we might see Vshoujo break up then. Yeah, if Proctor's convinced it's going to happen, then it's probably going to happen. Yeah, and we can say goodbye to that. Let's be real, them buying VShoujo is just them buying Iron Mouse, which will probably pay itself back in the air. That's the thing though, we need to get more details on what exactly purchasing VShoujo means. But I don't know, that's the thing though, right? So if Iron Mouse can pay back the cost of the VShoujo purchase within a year, then why would Iron Mouse want to remain in VShoujo? Why would she not go independent and start a new group and call it like Iron Mouse and Friends? Or she could join Zentreya and Friends. Hey, that's a horror channel. Brave Group is the inverse King Midas. Everything they touch turns to shit. Yeah, pretty much, it does. And this is the problem, right? VTubing isn't like most other industries. You can't... Brave Group, is, as I said before, they're a venture capitalist firm. All they care about is money and milking out as much capital as they can with their investments so that they can then go on to sell it on for a profit, right? All they care about is the shareholders. And that can kind of work with industries like gaming and movies and music, right? Because the way that the market, the way you pitch a new project to the out of touch fat cats in movies and gaming is you have to explain it to them in terms of what's come before. So if you want to make like a game, an open world crime, action crime drama, right? You don't go to the investors, right? You don't go to the shareholders and say, I'm going to make this game and it's going to have like these revolutionary concepts and it's going to do all these great things that gamers are going to really enjoy. Instead, they go to the fat cat and they're like, look, I'm going to make this game and it's going to be like Grand Theft Auto meets Fortnite. Right, and then what happens is that the investors go, Grand Theft Auto meets Fortnite. Well, those games are really popular and make lots of money. Give them money. Yeah, let's make this game that's a mix of Grand Theft Auto and Fortnite. And then they get the developers get all the money they want. They make generic shit slop that's got way too much producer oversight because they try to get around it, right? They say, oh yeah, we're going to do this. And then they try to make the game they want to make. But then the producers, right, come along and they're like, hey, you aren't doing what you said you would. You said you were going to make Grand Theft Auto meets Fortnite. You need to do this and this. So it's more. We need more Fortnite over here, and we need more Grand Theft Auto over here. And it appears that Brave Group is trying to do the same thing, where they're kind of going, right, okay, let's run our VTuber corporations we've acquired like a production line. So we'll have V4 they'll be the singing ones, they'll be the idols and the singing ones. Well, like there's actually an order to this. I can't remember what the order is now, but it's like we'll have V4 they'll be the idols. They'll be the stage performing idols. We'll have like Globy. Globy will be the ASMR ones. Okay, so if you want to do ASMR, we stick you in Globy. If you want to be like the FPS, competitive gamer one, then you go to VSPO. We'll do it that way. We'll give each VTuber corporation a gimmick, right? And we'll just shove people in there and we'll force them to be this kind of one trick, two trick pony. And as we all know as VTuber fans, it doesn't work that way. We aren't really there to watch a VTuber purely for the content that they do as such, really. It's the complete package. We need to have either a character or a real human being who we form some kind of like bond or connection to. We find them relatable, we find them entertaining. But the point is, whether we relate to them or we find them as some silly character that we just find entertaining, there needs to be the VTuber themselves needs to have the freedom to do what they want to do and what they're good at, whatever that may be, and they need to have that freedom to experiment and find themselves, essentially. And when you try to start sticking VTubers in pigeonholes and you try to start to seriously micromanage, control what they can and can't do, then it's going to demoralize them. It's going to be clearly visible in the stream that they don't actually care and they're not really engaged in what they're doing. It's going to be boring. It's going to get stagnant. The talent's going to be miserable, and obviously people aren't going to want to tune in to watch someone do their weekly mandated third ASMR stream, because obviously they joined this VTuber corporation to be a variety streamer, not an ASMR queen, and they don't really like ASMR, but they do it because they've got no choice, right? That's kind of kind of the worry there with Brave Group. Exactly, right? More VTuber corporations need to follow the model of Face Connect, but it's not just following the model of Face Connect, because if Face Connect were around today, they probably wouldn't survive, honestly. They probably wouldn't survive the current VTuber landscape, because the industry is much more oversaturated today, and the barriers to entry are much higher today than they were many years ago, right? Because like Leah went into Face Connect with no streaming experience, right? She couldn't sing. She didn't really know what she wanted to do. She was all over the place in the first couple of months of her content, and she didn't really have much of a kind of standout kind of personality. Instead, what VTuber corporations need to do now is that, yes, they do need to follow the phase model of giving talents freedom to really explore and find what they're good at and what their fan base really likes about them most. But then they need to be given the genuine hands-on personal and professional development to expand and improve upon that, right? Because what happens with a lot of these small VTuber corporations is that they onboard a new VTuber, and then once they give the VTuber, their model and the ID and a general outline of a character, and then once that character goes live, they just kind of just stop. They do nothing. They just kind of go, all right, off you go make us money, give us 50% of your paycheck. Yeah, Bob's your uncle, easy peasy lemon squeezy. And it's like, you're basically setting these people up to fail, because the whole reason they've joined the VTuber corporation in the first place isn't just for like the boost and the skip that they may potentially receive from the big hoo-ha, the big drama, because a new VTuber corporation has opened up and let's have a look at the spectacle, let's see the debuts, right? It's not just about that. They're actually looking for what should be industry professionals, which should be the talent managers, taking a look at their statistics, taking a look at their funny numbers for them, and taking a look at the analytics and going, right, okay, so people really like it when you do this thing. We need to see what you can do to expand this thing and make this a big part of your content. And then maybe you don't do so much of this thing. People don't like it when you do this thing. Don't do this thing, right? That's basically what a talent manager should be doing, but they don't. They kind of just pick these girls up and then leave them to flounder and die. And then the VTubers themselves, they don't really understand what they should be doing, because they don't have a Dizzy Dokuro style character. They don't have someone like Pippa who sets like the trend, who kind of leads the culture of the organization, right? So two of the big things that Face Connect have been able to benefit from is it's had people like Pippa and Dizzy in the organization. And again, not just those two, right? Everybody in Face Connect deserves some form of credit for contributing to the organization becoming what it is today, right? But what I'm referring to specifically, though, is that I think, to be fair, to be brutally honest, if you take a look at the evolution of Face Connect, it's pretty much mainly Pippa and to a moderate extent Temba who have influenced the culture and have kind of given future generations of Face Connect a sort of template, a sort of expectation for them to follow and understand their place and what the Face Connect VTuber, what the ideal Face Connect VTuber should be. Now, not everybody falls into this category, right? Because certainly people like Irie aren't remotely Pippa coded. People like Leah aren't really Pippa coded. But what I mean by that is that you can see the clear influence of Pippa's early schizo-basedness, quote-unquote problematicness, in the behaviors of people like Rie, Jerry, Sheena, people like that, basically, loads of people. Yeah, I think you can quite see that clear influence in there, where sometimes when they don't really know what they're doing, or they're kind of a bit stuck for content, they kind of think, okay, so like how did Face Connect become successful in the first place, and kind of what is our identity, what's like the foundations of face culture? And most people will think to the early days of Temba and Pippa saying slurs and doing the bass shit and being a bit menhera. And, that's kind of always stayed with Face Connect throughout the years. I know some people think it's diluted a little bit, but I think that's something people always fall back to. Oh yeah, and Panko, can't forget Panko and her saying the N-word every 2 minutes and fucking sexually objectifying woman. I don't know how I could forget Panko when she's the worst one. Yeah, Panko Manko, yeah. And then, oh yeah, I guess I mentioned Dizzy as well, so let's mention the Dizzy side of things. So Dizzy is a leader, right? I know Dizzy is like has always been like some kind of literal manager within Faith Connect, but Dizzy's a different kind of manager, because even though she again, it's hard to explain, because Dizzy has always been like a literal corporate manager, but that's not the main, I don't really think that's the main kind of management or like leadership that Dizzy's provided to Faith Connect. It's been more of a, she's been more of like a supervisor to the talents, really, rather than like a corporate leader. And what I mean by that, in that sense, what I kind of mean by that is there are two kinds of leaders in an organization, right? Like in the military. The military is an easy way for me to explain this to people, because I can base that off my own experience, right? If you're a private soldier in the military and you've got a serious problem with someone, or you're not having like a good time, you know, like you're miserable and you need like a pep talk, or you need to talk things through with someone, your officer commanding, right, your OC, your lieutenant or captain or whoever, isn't really the first person you go to, because when you speak to a captain or a lieutenant, that's considerably more formal and potentially administrative way of like talking about your problems, and it might have an adverse effect on your career in the future. Instead, what most private soldiers prefer to do is speak to their section commander, or like they might speak to a corporal or a sergeant instead, because corporals and sergeants, you know, are very important roles, but considerably less. Their whole raison d'etre, really, they're meant to be like, they're much more willing to kind of keep things, you know, below the table, really, and like have those candid conversations that don't need to be on records, and that, you know, don't potentially put your career in jeopardy, basically. And what Dizzy has always done since she was in Sundaria even is that she's been someone who leads by example, and I think she's been one of those people who the talents can go to and have very frank and honest conversations with about Faith Connect, about how the company's going, but also probably some of the things they're thinking and feeling as well, and perhaps some very confidential stuff that maybe they don't want their gen mates to necessarily hear, because no one is above jealousy, right? No one's above jealousy. Everybody gets the toxicity, everyone gets the brain worms from time to time, right? And Dizzy strikes me as one of those people where you can go to Dizzy, you know, and you can cry on her shoulder and talk about what your problems are, and then Dizzy will listen, and she'll give you that encouragement, she'll show you the way, she'll lead by example and give you that motivation, and she'll push you to being the best person you can be. And actually Temma as well, Temma's been really big on doing that kind of thing. When I've been doing the research, you know, for the Faith Connect documentary, I've been going through like a lot of VODs, right, of like the collabs, the early collabs of like Pippa, Temma, Leah and Urika. And one thing that's crazy I saw, particularly in the Roblox stream way back when, is that Tenma is in Pippa's chat, right? And Tenma's at work, but she's in Pippa's chat. This is back when Pippa was like extremely shy and too afraid to talk to people, even her own gen mates. And Tenma is like in Pippa's chat non-stop, giving her encouragement and like trying to give her some confidence to do this collaboration with Urika and Leah. And again, really good on Tenma for that, right? That shows such phenomenal character on Tenma's part. And it kind of shows a big part of the reason why Faith Connect's been successful is because when things are tough and when things are going down, it looks like they do genuinely, for the most part, build each other up, rather than kind of get into that defensive, cliquey, mean girl, islandy state where they try to, you know, twist the knife in and turn on each other, right? There's a very clear contrast between what happened to CyberLife and Faith Connect. As Faith Connect was going to shit, they had leaders, they had loads of great women in there who could lead them through those dark periods, whereas the minute things got bad in CyberLife, they all started like fucking eating each other and tearing each other apart, which then led to the inevitable situation where CyberLife crashed. That's what I think. Yeah, exactly. Dizzy isn't an official manager. And I'm glad that Dizzy isn't an official manager anymore, because it's like, Dizzy, you do way too fucking much for like the corporate organization as it is. You should pick one, Dizzy. Do you want to manage FaZe Connect, or do you want to be a talent? I think you should be a talent, because Dizzy, I think like VTubing really is what Dizzy prefers over talent management. That doesn't mean Dizzy can't be like a kind of big, you know, like big sister, team leader, supervisory kind of role to the talents, just in an unofficial way. Pango's Italian, she can't help it. Yeah, Italians are a strange bunch. Italians are like the French. The Italians can be like super based conservatives, or they can be like blue heads, like blue head super liberal weirdos. When the Dizzy vids, oh my god, I'm trying to get the fucking Dizzy vid. I'm trying, guys. I just don't have enough hours in the day. I'm fucking, every time I've got like a good amount of space to finish the FaZe Connect documentary, my fucking Oshi Push sponsors like always seem to hit me in the Discord DMs, and they're like, hey Maulington, can you do like this thing for us? Can you like write all these summaries of the FaZe Connect talents for us, please, so that we can do this promo and like give like all the fans, future fans of Oshi Push, like the quick rundown of each FaZe Connect's talents, like personal, professional journey. And it's like, oh, for fuck's sake, yes, I can do that, but now it's going to take me like 8 hours. I'm going to have to spend like 4 days working on it, and that was the 4 days I had to work on the FaZe documentary. But yeah, I kind of, I don't know. The thing is, I could get the Dizzy video out in 2 weeks, I reckon, but then that's 2 weeks that I haven't been working on the FaZe documentary. It's like, fuck, I need a project manager to fucking help me. I need a project manager. I unironically need a project manager to help me fucking get my video out, get my videos out. I got a quote from Luby about Dizzy. Dizzy is top B. Yeah. Okay, can we talk about Dizzy's darkness for a sec? How did this came to be? It was quite obvious coded, but no backlash happened. I don't know. I think the thing is, I don't know. Mildly, Dizzy's nurse outfit actually did mildly annoy me a little bit. Okay, this sounds like it sounds like a borderline unicorn take, right? But again, I've always been outspoken. I do like, don't get me wrong, I do like anime lewds, right? And I do like no, I'm not a Puritan by any stretch of the imagination. You'll see later when I show you the Yuri cosplayer, all the pictures of that Yuri cosplayer I saved. You're gonna actually hang on. Let me show you it now, just so you know what I'm talking about and keep you interested in the stream. So we're gonna be looking at a lot of this later. I don't know if YouTube will ban me for this, for like pornography. I hope they won't, but we're going to be talking about this woman a lot later. I really like this cosplayer. I'm going to be showing you all the pictures of her from Offkai. I think you'll like it. But anyway. But yeah, the reason why Dizzy's like new outfit annoyed me a little bit is that, again, I know it's part of Dizzy's whole character. It's part of her shtick, right? It's a big part of her appeal. It's being like the pathetic, you know, big titty goth girl, you know, pathetic sex object, right? And I think it's funny. I like it and appreciate it to some extent as well. But I do think the nurse outfit is just a bit too much. It's a bit too much. Like I know that Dizzy does an awful lot of the out of character streams, and she does like the more meta VTuber commentary, right? And I fucking love that shit. So you know, it's a small part of her character, right? I would always say that Dizzy is like the Mick Foley of VTubers, right? Like Dizzy is like, you know, she's like Cactus Jack, Mankind, she's whatever she wants to be, right? Dizzy is like probably the best wrestling adjacent VTuber out there, I reckon, or at least the ones that I know of. But yeah, I don't like it when she does I don't like the depressed big titty goth girls like pathetic sex object angle. I don't like it when she does that. I much prefer you know, wise, mature industry veteran Dizzy, who's based, really. I don't like pathetic sex object Dizzy, but that's just my personal taste, right? And I think, again, a big part of the reason why Dizzy released this nurse outfit is because, you know, a lot of people really do like the sex appeal and that sexy stuff that Dizzy does, right? But it's just not for me personally. Yeah, see, guys prefer Dizzy being yeah, mommy than a girl failure. Not a fan of the crying, no. I don't like woman tears personally. Woman tears make me feel really, really bad, but I know there are some sick fucks out there who love it when women cry. Hey, David. How's it going, buddy? How's the basketball going at the moment, David? I can see there's a lot going on at the moment. The Dizzy cosplayer had a nip slip in one pic. I actually missed that one somehow. We won't be showing that on stream. I like Yuri's, yeah. I like her hood as well. I like that Yuri's cosplayer's hood. My god, if only she had longer legs. Based and true, Baron. Based and true. Giga Chad, hell yeah. Leg bros for life, hell yeah. Gum bun is no longer gum bun for no reason. Yeah, I don't know why that's the case. That was weird. Dizzy, brainwash. Brainwash time. Dizzy, brainwash. Brainwash time. Best outfit in Praise Connect so far. Yeah, you would say that, Sample. What's my... I think Mishru actually has... Mishru has fantastic eyes, but I don't like Mishru's like default outfit. It's really like I really don't like that Dalmatian skin collar that Mishru has on a default outfit. I really like a new one. But I prefer Mishru's eyes in her old model. No one noticed it but me. Yeah, that's probably like, that's the woman brain. That's the woman brain in action there, Tempest, right? We're too busy staring at like the legs and like the upper boob, whereas you're noticing the whole picture. It's like, you know, I went to go see my mum the other day, right? And she'd radically changed her hair, and I like last saw her like a couple days before that, and she was like, notice anything about my hair? And I was like, no, I genuinely haven't noticed anything about your hair that's different. And she's like, I've bleached it blonde. And I was like, oh yeah, I forgot you weren't a blonde. That's kind of how men operate. Yeah. You like some woman tears? Do you like woman tears of women you hate, or is it you like woman tears of women you're attracted to? What are we talking here, Azahara? I love it when women cry. Oh dear. Oh god, it's raining heavily outside at the moment. In terms of being an alternate outfit, I don't know, Shipper's been topped yet, but maybe I'm biased. Alternate outfits. I think, as I've said multiple times, I think Lumi's regressed. I prefer 3D Cyberlive Lumi model, the best. That's my favourite model. But other than that, who's got the best model in phase these days? I don't know, I kind of really like Panko's model, you know. I really like Panko's model. I like how smug. I think it's just because of Panko's like voice and how she kind of comes across on stream. But I really like Panko's model. I love the what are they called? Mogi eyebrows, right? The really thick but small eyebrows. I love that aesthetic. I love characters of the Mogu eyebrows. That's one of my favorite anime aesthetics. But Panko just looks like incredibly smug all the time. So yeah, I really like Panko's model. Even though, funny enough, I don't like lollies, but I really like Panko's face. I like how smug she looks. NASA model's nice. NASA's model's nice. Yeah, I actually kind of prefer NASA's old model to a new one. My problem I have with NASA's new model, is the skin tone is a bit weird, and there's too much like it's almost too expressive. It's a bit too busy. I find NASA's newest model. I think a older model is better because it's more of like it's a more clean, coherent cuteness to it. I think there's way too much going on in both the model rigging, like the rigging, and how the model emotes to her face. I think in the new one, I'm not a big fan of a new one per se. Oh yeah, I saw Panko with the pacifier in the last stream, and then you got the fucking lolly chuds in there, taking it way too far like normal. How do you feel about Invaders Quest now that it's been almost 2 months since their debuts? You see, Inferno, and this is another video idea I've wanted. I wanted to make a video on Phase Invaders Quest like I did for Generation 3 a couple months after they came out. Is that actually no, we are going to talk about this in the sense actually in the slides. So let's move on. We've spoken enough about VShoujo. Okay. Actually, should we talk about FazeCon first, or should we skip to that one? You know what? Since we've started the subject, let's talk about let's skip to this one first, and then we'll go back to FazeCon. Go back to FazeCon after this. By the way, if Mishru I really like this. This is my I forgot. This is my favorite model in Phase Connect now. This new Mishru one is absolute cinema. It's got everything I like in it. I fucking love the hair. I love the sword, and she's wearing stockings that go up to her thighs as well. Absolutely peak Mishru's new model. Actually, she really reminds me of that character from Xenoblades 3. I think it's Xenoblades 3, but there's a character, I think their name is A, in Xenoblades, and Mishru looks an awful lot like her. But yeah, this is a very, very nice new model for Mishru. Very nice model. So let's talk about Phase Invaders Quest for a second and kind of how it is after a couple months. So, I think the momentum for Phase Connect in general is much stronger this year than it was around about the same time last year. Phase Connect came out of the gates of the first quarter of 2024 really, really strong. And part of that came from Filian's VTuber Awards. A big part of that came from the collapse of Niji Sanji because of Selengate. But I also think it came from just across the board, generally speaking, Phase Connect started to stop being like this. They started to like work together more as a company and as generations, instead of being these weird little islands of people who were kind of almost loosely tied to Phase Connect, or they were like collab almost cliques, right? So up until about the first quarter of 2024, there was like a 2-year gap between when Pippa and Uruka did a one-on-one collab together. And when you'd see like internal Phase Connect collaborations, it was always like Tenma and Uruka. It was always like Leah and Uruka. You'd never see like Leah or Tenma or like Pippa and Uruka. It'd always be like Irie and later it'd be like Irie and Clara. You wouldn't really see much Rie and Mimor anymore, because Rie and Mimor used to be a massive thing. You'd see a little bit of Rie and Irie, because again, those two are besties being into their Korean shit, right? But kind of after that first quarter where they've really started to work together more and really push some new and interesting mega collabs and start working together as a unit more, there was this kind of stagnant period in the second half of the year where not really much was really going on. And I think a lot of that is probably because they were just preparing for like the 3D concerts at Anime New York and for shit that will be going on for this year. But they seem to be retaining the momentum for much longer this year, and I think that's due to the overwhelming, like the unprecedented success of the new Phase Invaders. And these new Phase Invaders are like it's the most successful generation that Phase Connect has had so far, by quite a lot as well. I haven't had to look at the numbers yet, but I think I wouldn't be surprised if it's bigger than Gen 1, 2, 3, Phase Invaders 1 and Phase Invaders 2 all combined together, honestly. And they've done the right thing with the Invaders this time, in that they've onboarded large VTubers who have a separate fan base to the Phase Connect fandom. There are an awful lot of Phase Connect fans in Cleo's and Mari Ian's fan base. Less so in Sleepy's channel, but then Sleepy is a very small, was a very small creator relative to the other two. But picking up Cleo and Mari Ian have been absolutely massive for the organisation, because the two of them have brought in thousands of people into the fold to Phase Connect, whereas what's happened a lot in the past is that Phase Connect has been, for the most part, cannibalizing its own fan base. So most of the people who gravitated towards Clara, for example, not very many new people actually started watching like Clara and were attracted to her. Most of Clara's fans, which led to a massive surge in popularity in the early days, were just Phase Connect fans who were like, oh hey, we've got a new sad girl who's Menhera and weird, let's all go watch her. And then kind of what happened over time is that, as you'd expect from having an incestuous relationship, is that a good chunk of that fan base then either got bored of Clara and went back to whoever they used to watch, or like a small amount of them like kind of just remained and kept watching her. And yeah, that's good at retaining your existing fan base, but that's not good if you want to continue expanding. So I think this is probably the best generation that Phase Connect has had in terms of its goals of expanding, becoming bigger, and having more of a market share than any generation that's come before it. And the good news as well about having people like Cleo and Mari En in the organization is that they kind of act like the bridge to undo a lot of the damage that the Reddit retards have done to FaZe and Pippa over the years, right? Because kind of, if you probably don't see it much, because I imagine not many of you ever go on Reddit or bother yourself with the shithousery that you know, that the V-tweeters get up to. But there are still quite an awful lot of people out there who think that FaZe Connect is exactly the same organization it was 4 years ago, and that FaZe Connect is basically like Pippa being a, you know, edgy 4chan yabbit thing, saying slurs and screaming about glowies, right? Because not only do they not watch clips, not only do they not watch streams, they don't even watch clips, so they don't have the first fucking clue about what FaZe Connect or, you know, what Pippa is actually like. They just have this assumption in their head, because the way the Redditor isn't even a subhuman. The Redditor is an NPC, right? The Redditor isn't a sentient life form. So the way the Redditor's mind work is that someone on Reddit will say something, right, and they will spout complete nonsense that they themselves, that person who's spouting the nonsense, is just fucking made up in their own heads. And then every single person who reads that comment goes, oh wow, this person is very passionately and thoroughly talking about this thing. I'm not even going to be bothered to verify that or check that. I'm just going to go, okay, yep, I completely and unquestionably believe everything you've said. And now that you've told me that, I'm now going to spread this information to everybody else who would bother to listen to me, because that's what Redditors do. They just take anything anyone on that website says and then they repeat it as gospel, and then when you challenge them on it and you try to say that's not true at all, they go, oh well, it wasn't me, I didn't hear it just came from this other person told me. And it's like, look, retards, if you go around spouting something as fact, it doesn't matter that you heard it from someone else and someone else said it wrongly. You have a responsibility to take accountability and to verify the accuracy of the information you yourself are saying. But, you know, fucking, there's no getting through to Redditors. Redditors are going to Reddit and always blame something or someone else for their problems, and then continue to think that they're the best people, like the nicest community in the world, even though they're infinitely worse than like the worst 4chan schizos. Yeah, but then we had that Pippa fan that planned an attack and was in the news and undid all of that. That schizo who did the he did the fucking it's fucking, it was when I saw that was fucking funny, but at the same time I did feel really bad for Pippa and co, because that had the potential to spiral really out of control, right? But do you guys remember there was that guy who got arrested because he uploaded that picture. He had like a wallpaper of Pippa or something that he had on his bed with like a gun, and did he have like a book or a manifesto or something? And it seemed like he was like planning to shoot something up or whatever. But that guy wasn't, and he was like a Kershaw fan and a Pippa fan. And it turns out that guy actually wasn't like a Pippa or Kershaw fan. He'd only started watching those two like days before he planned this attack. So it was either a psyop, right? This guy was either like a psyop, he was either a glowy, a psyop, or it was basically just a tourist, right? Who'd watched a bunch of... It's probably like a tourist who watched an Azehara clip from like 4 years ago when Pippa was at her most schizo, right? And he thinks that's what Pippa is, basically. It's probably that. Probably what that was all about. Yeah, tourist. But, yeah, I'm very glad that Sleepy has joined FaZe Connect as well. So Sleepy really blew up, and I told you guys this as well, by the way. I said before Sleepy debuted that she was going to be the Sleepy hit for FaZe Connect. She's really blown up. She's like 7 to 8 times bigger than she was before she joined FaZe Connect, and that's kind of the thing that I always try to emphasize to people who are maybe really sad and disappointed with their funny numbers and they've been VTubing for years, right? It's like, look, I know that you might be really disappointed that you've been streaming 2-3 years and your funny numbers aren't where you'd like them to be. but it generally might never happen. Unfortunately, there do have to be losers in this industry. But if you don't give up, if you keep going, if you keep pushing yourself, if you keep trying, that could be you one day. You could find yourself being friends with like a VTuber who becomes the next Fillion. And then, maybe that person might help you, might help uplift you as well. So now you're like an orbiter of Fillion 2.0, and then you get to enjoy the high life of being a very big VTuber. But going off of like the orbiting and having someone lift you up from VTubing there, it's like, you don't know. People in VTubing are rising and falling all the time, just like families, right? Families. One day a family has a lot of money, and then within a generation they're destitute, poor, and they're back to the bottom of the social ladder. And I've seen VTubers in this space who have been streaming 3-4 years to a consistent 20 people, and then a game comes out, a new game, the new hotness comes out, they stream it, and the algorithm favors them on that special day, and now they're sitting at a nice comfy 200 on a regular basis. Boom, one game comes out, 2 streams later, they're 10 times bigger, and they're like in that top 0.01 percentile. So you never know. You keep at it, and again, just because you become big and famous doesn't mean that you're always gonna continue riding a rocket to success as well, right? Because then you can look at me on the smaller side of things. So back when I first started VTubing, I was growing at a rate of 1,200 subs a month for like the first 5 months I was VTubing, and then now I've been at 5k for like a year because I stopped. That's on me for stop making the content that people actually subscribe to me in the first place for. But then I was struggling with burnout, so that's kind of how I got to that state. But instead of despairing about it, right? It's like the way I look at that is, it's like, okay, I'm back. I'm at the worst numbers I've ever been for my channel. But it's okay. I'll just keep trying. Just try to build myself back up, and I'll get there. That's the attitude you need to have, really. That's it. The algo gives, the algo takes away. The only thing that you can really control is the consistency of you making content. As long as you keep making content, there's always a chance, as infinitely small as it is. Just keep trying. And thank you very much for the 8 months of membership, Vega buddy. Thank you very much, my friend. Hey, you survived England. What happened? Yeah, they only knew Kershaw because of the Anna Valens article. You're right. Hey, thank you very much for the membership, Vega buddy. How was tell me about your England trip later, Vega. I'd be interested in knowing how England was, particularly the part of England you went to. Yeah, I didn't see much Sleepy for some reason. Feels like she doesn't get clipped a lot. Sleepy does get clipped a lot. Hobosaki Clips, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but Hobosaki Clips in the chat does an awful lot of Sleepy clipping. And Sleepy does have a few clippers, but they tend to be very small people. Because again, you have to remember, right, that Sleepy's been a very small VTuber for quite a long time. So the people who do clip her are themselves quite small clippers. But big examples of big people who clip Sleepy are Brolemy, so Dr. Lolime, male version, Brolime. He clips Sleepy, but he clips Sleepy on like Twitter mostly, I think. And Hobosaki Clips is another good one. So check those two out if you want to catch up on Sleepy goodness. But yeah, even if you haven't seen many clips of Sleepy, she's doing extremely well for herself. And I think the reason why Sleepy's doing extremely well for herself is because she is extremely she does have some overlap with other FaZe Connect talents, but she still offers something slightly different, right? I'd say that Sleepy is like a mix of Sheena and I'd say that Sleepy is like a mix of Sheena and Pippa a little bit, I'd say. So she's got some overlap with Sheena, because one of the things I really like about Sleepy is that the woman, bless her, she does have her head on. She does have her head screwed on pretty straight, right? She's got actually quite mature, reasonable, and adult takes on things, but at the same time, she's also very laid back. And I think at the same time as well, she can be kind of based. She can be kind of, she's cool. She's a chick who likes firearms and self-defense laws, the Second Amendment. She's a based conservative kind of gun woman who isn't like a nasty chud, right? She's just like she's like the girl next door kind of person, right? She's just sweet, wholesome, quite mature and level-headed and cute. So she's an excellent fit for FaZe, because we have talents who are kind of like that, but most of those talents are on the older side. Most of the like kind of cute, wholesome VTubers in FaZe Connect are people like Irie. I don't know, me more sometimes when she wants to be. Right, we don't really have many younger people who do that, and I think that's the kind of niche that Sleepy fits. She has some degree of overlap, but she still slots in nicely. Thank you very much for the $2, Ross, buddy. Thank you, my friend. Hello, happy to see you streaming. Thank you, Ross. Good gains, by the way, Ross. You're doing really well at the gym at the moment. I've been working really hard at the gym for the last 2 months myself now. My fucking arms are bigger than they've ever been, honestly. Yeah, I'm bicep curling 85 pounds at the moment. I've never seen my arms so big. My arms really fucking hurt at the moment. Thank you very much for the 5 gifted memberships, Spike, buddy. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, my friends. It's crazy seeing you gift memberships in a stream that isn't Legal Mindsets. I see you in Legal Mindsets stream all the time, Spike. But thank you, my friends. Much appreciated. I did, Tempest. I did see you and Minna did the collab. I was in your chat for a little while. I couldn't stay long, unfortunately, as I had to get the fucking videos out. But yeah, I was really enjoying I did enjoy the collab that you two had. I watched like the last kind of, I think I watched like the kind of last hour or something of the collab. But yeah, I like, we need more podcasts of like VTuber mums talking about VTubing and motherhood. It was a really nice, wholesome, entertaining conversation. So yeah, so well done to you, well done to Tempest and Minna for a great collab. I found a new clipper who is so good. Oh, who is it? Oh yeah, I saw Pikachu Piggy N as well. I saw that. Is he the guy who I'm going to be talking about later? Actually, let's have a look. Hang on. No, it's Fayola, the clip earlier. I've seen Pikachu Pig show up recently though. Good. Always good to have more clippers. Because there's so many fucking clippers now. I can't keep a track of them all anymore. It's crazy, you know. At one point, I used to know who every single clipper was, and the FaZe Connect Reddit used to be fucking dead way back when as well. At one point, I was the only person who actually posted anything in the FaZe Reddit back in like August of 2023 to like December 2023. Like the FaZe Reddit was literally just me, and now you look at the FaZe Reddit today, and it's really fucking populated. There's thousands of people in there now. It's crazy to see that, but then that kind of shows you how much FaZe Connect has grown and how successful it's been over the years. It's that the Reddit is actually not dead anymore. I wonder if Urika and Tenma even know the mods in the FaZe Reddit. It's better to watch Sleepy. Yeah, Sleepy's not very clippable anyway, because it's like, yeah, it's like, Sleepy is a slow burn, right? She doesn't really have these short, snappy moments of like high intensity energy where she says or does, where she's not screaming into the microphone or being like really fucking crazy or men hair or girl failure. You watch Sleepy, right? And it's just like, it's just a smooth, vibing, enjoyable experience throughout the entire thing. Is what a Sleepy stream is, and I think that's a good point actually that I forgot about. Yeah, I think that's a big part of the reason why many people gravitate towards Pippa as well, and some of the other FaZe talents, is that because they're so free spirited and they're not really leashed too much, is that they do have those, I guess, slower streams where they're not doing the stuff that they're really known and iconic for. But it's still highly entertaining anyway, because basically it's just a stream of them playing a long game for like 3-4 hours, and they're just shooting the shit. They're just saying exactly what they genuinely have going on in their minds, and that's very refreshing. Because many of the other VTubers, maybe not so much independents, obviously, but but if you're a corporate VTuber fan mostly, then what you'll notice about, you know, your Hololives, your VShojo fans, your Niji-Sanji VTubers, is that you can see that they're being very fake often and being performative in their emotions, right? And they're not even like hiding it. They're like a crazy moment's going on, everyone's laughing and giggling, and you'll have like one or two are like, oh, ha 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 ha, oh, that's so funny, right? And you know, and they do shit like that because they know that it's expected of them to behave in a certain way and to do certain things and to have certain reactions, because if they don't laugh at a joke or if they don't laugh at a bit that they're expected to, what's going to happen is immediately after that stream's over, there's going to be like a 5,000 liked thread on Reddit where a bunch of like fucking spurgy Redditors go, oh my god, can you believe that Crony didn't laugh at Gura's joke? Crony clearly hates Gura, that fucking bitch. What the fuck did Gura ever do to Crony? And then people start imagining like this fake beef between corporate VTubers based off of the absolute fucking nothing burgers. So then you get people go, wow, to be fair, 2 years and 2 weeks ago, Gura did say this and Crony was very clearly upset by it. So maybe, you know what I mean? There's all that shit, right? So because corporate VTubers are probably always on edge about what they say and how they react to stimulus going on stream, they're very they can be like very robotic and very predictable and not very interesting when they're not actually playing into the bit and into the characters and getting like really, you know, hyperactive into the collab. Whereas the free-spirited nature of Face Connect means that many of them can just say, as long as it's not shit lib stuff that will piss off the face chuds, they can just say what they want, say what they honestly think, and because the Face Connect community chat reflects the streamer, so if you're a fan of that VTuber, she probably has a lot of the same opinions and thoughts and has like the same upbringing you had, so you end up listening to it and you're just sat there, right, and you're like, true, completely agree, yep. Right, and it's a vibe, and everybody enjoys it. Sleepy's strength is her outfits. Her major strength is the bout that keeps her tits tied in together. Being consistent is the best way to grow. Exactly, being consistent. But it's not about being just consistent as well. You also actually need to make stuff that people want. Producing consistent slop isn't going to get you anywhere. Being consistent in learning, adapting, and improving, you know, what you're doing is how you become successful. Thank you very much for the 5 cis thanks, Vega buddy. Got wasted with local lads on the first night. Yeah, you can't go to England and then not get wasted. We're alcoholics. Oh yeah, by the way, I don't watch Pippa, by the way. I've mostly been a clip watcher. I haven't actually properly watched a Pippa stream in years unless I've been watching a Pippa stream for the purposes of research for the Face Connect documentary. Well, does Pippa still do this now, or will she stop doing it entirely? Because I don't see her do it anymore. Does she still do this? Beep, 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 beep. Or does she not do the soda? Does she not do the soda thing anymore? Does she still do the soda thing? You look Clara's TVA Fred. I look Clara's TVA Fred from time to time. On the one hand, I do think it's funny. But then I do. I feel bad for her in a sense. Actually, I feel quite bad for her because on the one hand, it's like, yeah, I don't agree with this person politically whatsoever. But then at the same time, it's like, right, if she wants to, you know, if she wants to be like that on her own private account, then fucking whatever, just keep it there. You know, I feel kind of bad for her about all the abuse she gets for it. It's like, it's just as long as she keeps it on her private account, then I don't care. Well, I mean, that's not entirely true. I do kind of care because, you know, at the same time, when you realise this stuff about someone, it's like, okay, so if you have these, you know, political opinions, and it's not just about having those political opinions as well. It's about the disdain for conservatives is the problem, right? That's really what the issue is. I don't care if a VTuber is a shit lib, as long as they don't. Like, even if they have like radical opinions on things, right? Even if they're in favor of abortion or like open borders or whatever. I mean, I can strongly disagree with it. I think less of them for it, but I don't hate them for it. I can be like, right, okay, you know, you go be a shit lib on your alt account, your private account, whatever. Just keep that shit off of main and just keep being the funny entertainer woman here. I can live with that. That's fine. But when they're openly disdainful between centric, you know, basically non-shit libs on their past life, alt account, private, whatever, then it's like, yeah, you know, I'm not going to support someone who actually genuinely hates me, right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing, right? Again, yeah, I don't know. I always feel bad about talking about TVA stuff openly and on stream, but Yeah, I don't know. The thing is that, you know, I grew up with the Something Awful forums, so it's like I love talking. I like Kiwi Farms is basically like an offshoot of like the old Something Awful forums, although regrettably they replaced like the good community gaming community that Something Awful used to have, and they replaced it with doxing, which is, you know, gay. Doxing and gay ops, super gay. Obviously, it's in the name, gay ops. It's a shame. I really missed the golden age of the Something Awful forums back when it was just like a toxic, you know, bullying randoms in games kind of organization. I hate how the modern internet, particularly VTubing, has gravitated heavily towards like doxing people for just not liking the anime you don't like. It's really gay. But yeah, let's kind of move on from that subject, because, you know, it's like she keeps it on her private account, so let's just leave it there, you know. Leave it to the funny threads. She does, but she's drinking less soda. Yeah. Okay. People have been ratting that's going to cause a big Phase Connect convertry for a while now. I mean, I've been saying it myself on the stream, honestly, Master, and I have said it a couple times in past streams. It depends, really. It can happen. It is a time bomb. It's a tripwire. All she has to do one day is have a particularly bad episode of the brainworms or the mental health, and say something or do a particular stream, right? And it will cause the civil war, right? And I can, to some extent, I can kind of understand why she might be annoyed a little bit, because it's like people like Sheena, to a very small extent. Sheena a little bit does this, but people like Panko, Jelly does it a lot in particular. Jelly does this an awful lot, but Summer and Pippa used to do it a lot, maybe not so much now. But some Phase Connect talents do have borderline political opinions, or they do at least indulge in the culture war. But they get away with it, and they are able to actually thrive off of it, because obviously Phase Connect attracts a high number of chuds, and those lot have mostly chud opinions, right? So when they talk politics, people are going to be spamming base love. Oh my god, I can't believe my Oshi's a space. Problem is with Clara is that she was open about her political beliefs. Sakana would probably have to fire her for her own goods, because the chuds would go fucking mental, would go absolutely fucking spare her for having them. So I can understand from that perspective why she might be frustrated that some Phase talents can get away with talking about it while others can't. But that's at the end of the day, though, no one asked her to join Phase Connect, right? She wanted to come into this corporation. She wanted to be part of this community. Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, if you want to be part of this community and you want to be liked, you don't have to be like lib-based right winger. You don't have to be a chud. You just have to be quiet about any super you have to be just quiet about any super liberal takes that you might have, honestly, and then you'll get along fine with everybody. That's the kind of atmosphere that Phase Connect is, but it's not as aggressive or polarized as like the Niji Sister fandom is. I don't think that the Phase Connect community is the like exact opposite of the Niji Sister fandom. We're not like Niji Sisters, but for lib-based right wingers. But there's an awful lot of unironic, like staunchly traditional Catholic Mexicans or Latins in the Phase community. And whilst we, as like maybe like white Westerners from North America or Western Europe, may be considerably more open to like joking homosexuality and like, I don't know, liberalism, for example, being loose to that kind of thing, stuff like abortions and whatnot. A great many Mexican and Catholic is not, and will not tolerate it, right? They don't have that. It's not really the right words, right? Because it's not necessarily a good thing when I say this, right? But Western Europeans and some North Americans, like the North American liberal, tends to adopt an approach that's more based around being pleasant, being nice, right? Being nice and accepting. And it's been to their own detriment, in my opinion, given the current state of the countries. But this isn't a political stream, right? But I think for the most part, the core part of the Phase Connect fandom is quite reasonable, right? The bulk of the Phase Connect fans aren't the kind of people who are gonna hit the fucking roof and like demand a like super left-wing Face Connect VTuber's head if she accidentally politispergs on main. But that is a very loud, and there's a not so inconsequential amount of people in this community who will cause a massive amount of grief if, you know, this stuff becomes, if it does happen, basically. So yeah, it's like Face Connect can't really allow that to happen, because it's going to do an awful lot of damage to the organization as a whole, and it's going to fracture the community. And the future, the success of Face Connect was built by and is carried by the cohesion, and it's carried by the strength and unity of the Face Connect fandom itself. So despite everything I've just said, based right wingers and like gay femboy super leftists like trans people live together in harmony, just mostly in the Face Connect community, right? But all it takes is someone talking about abortion on stream and flying the pride flag, and then it's gonna fucking the powder keg is gonna explode, right? That's gonna happen. Yeah, tolerant, I guess, is the term. Yeah. And let's be honest, exactly, the Chuds offer a ton of support as well, right? As, I don't know if you were here earlier, Azahara, but I kind of said this at the beginning of the stream. It's that given the choice between the more leftist kind of people and lib-based right-wingers and Chuds, I'll always pick lib-based right-wingers and Chuds, because they're much more accepting of people being free and true to who they are than the other side, right? Normally, the worst thing that will happen if you piss off the base right wingers and the Chuds, they will go to a site like TVA or 4chan, and they'll just like make hate threads where they'll just spend like every day for the next year like on a thread tucked in some corner of the internet, out of mind, of just seething about how much they fucking hate this VTuber and how she's a stupid whore, Jew bitch, because of what she said, right? Whereas, as we all know from many cases, the V-tweeter, the shit lib, right? They actively on main campaign to ruin people's lives and, you know, try to get them fired from their company and bullied off the internet. So that's my kind of how I've seen VTubing evolve and the internet evolve over the last several years. Yeah, I don't go on Kiwi Farms itself. TV, I don't really care for much of what Kiwi Farms offers anymore. All I care about now is just talking about VTubing, obviously. So that's the reason why I like TVA, is because TVA is basically... I treat TVA as basically a Kirsha and Pippa, like, fan website, basically. That's how I see that website. So I just go on there just because I have that autistic fix of needing to talk about and like having to see people discuss the VTubers I enjoy watching as well, right? That's kind of why I go on TVA. It's just like, oh fuck, I'm bored. Let's watch what do the TVA guys think? Oh, I don't know, this Panko stream, I'm gonna go have a look. So I can also get that satisfaction of, like, you know, talking about the VTubers we enjoy. And the quality of conversation on TVA is vastly superior to what happens in places like 4chan and Reddit, because there's all sorts of people on TVA, right? There are like people on TVA who are complete like HoloLive stans. There are people who don't necessarily like Face Connect that much or can't stand Face Connect fans. There are lolicon enthusiasts on there, people who hate lolicons. It's basically a very diverse group of people on TVA, and not afraid to state their honest opinions, and they can have like a relatively civil disagreement and have different takes on things, and then they tend to discuss it in actually a relatively nuanced and informative way, which makes it like a million times better than the circle jerks or like the just pure unfiltered fucking craziness that you see on Reddit or 4chan. So yeah, I do enjoy it. It's pretty good. Mishru's voice acting is incredible. I love Mishru. Yeah, that's the thing, Azahara. You're absolutely right. You don't need to pander to the Chuds, but they are what have made Face Connect what it is today, and they are ultimately what is propelling Face Connect forward, really. So you can you can hate them if you want to, just for fuck's sake. If you're a VTuber coming into Face Connect and you fucking hate conservatives and chuds and religious people and whatever, just shut the fuck up. Just maintain per second OPSEC. Write it on say it to your fucking dog, right? Write it in a diary and keep it well away from the camera. Just shut the fuck up about it. Don't say anything. It's not. Oh my god, that reminds. You know what really annoys me as well? Are VTubers who have alts and say really damning shit on their Twitter alts that aren't actually alts, because everybody knows who their alt is because they post just like their main does on their alt. And it's like, oh my fucking god, please, for the love of god, guys, if you need to vent and if you need to be like toxic and you need to be a bitch, don't make a fucking alt on Twitter, you absolute retard. People are gonna fucking find it and they're gonna autistically scramble and archive it, and then they're gonna use that against you for all eternity. Just fucking write a diary or just speak to someone in real life or something. Christ's sake. Yeah, people shouldn't have personal alts. For fuck's sake. I do wonder if that kind of talks about chuds during business meetings. Yeah, you know, I do wonder. I would always like to see how a Face Connect kind of business meeting goes. I know, like, in principle how they're structured, because the Face talents have spoken a lot about how the meetings tend to go. But I wonder how, like, they refer to the demographics, right? I wonder if they go, I wonder if Fishman is going, Pippa, you need to be like, or Pippa, you need to be more chud. People want you to be more chud. So say more shit about the glowies. But I think, if I recall though, Sakana's actually said on stream that he doesn't really actually encourage them to say the base shit that they do. He lets them do it for the most part, they do it, but he doesn't actually encourage it. So yeah, I imagine they don't actually talk about it. Yeah, he did refuse the Ricata collab, and yeah, like everyone says, what a fucking bullet dodge that one was. Yeah, shame he didn't poop it. Wait, actually, hang on a minute, remind me now. Actually, I've got this written down somewhere. I can't remember. Sakana didn't okay the Kumalot collab, did he? But Pippa did it anyway, right? I think Pippa went ahead with the Kumalot collab without permission. Yeah, so unfortunately, dodged one bullet, didn't dodge the other one. Shouldn't have done that one. But I mean, we live and we learn. I think she's learned from it. And this is the thing. It's why I get a bit upset. Upset's not quite the right word. But I do feel really bad for Pippa. I do feel awfully bad for Pippa quite a lot, which is part of the reason that compelled me to make the Pippa documentary nearly 2 years ago, right? It's like, some people out there some people learn best by doing something, failing, and really understanding the grassroots reason for why they failed, and then they learn from it and genuinely improve. I'm someone who's very much like that as well, right? Like, I'm the kind of person where I'm the kind of person, right, where the colour sergeant says to me, Maulington, if you don't keep the safety on your weapon, right, if you don't keep your finger off the trigger, Maulington, you're going to accidentally shoot someone, you know, when you're flagging them on the range, right? And I'm the kind of person where I'm like, no, I won't. No, I'll be fine. And then I have to. I mean, I've never actually done this before, right? But you see the mentality, right? Where I have to fuck up before I really understand why I shouldn't do something, right? And I think Pippa's kind of the same way. And one of the sad things about the internet in general, and one of the sad things that's really followed Pippa along over the years, is that she's had to experience for herself and understand firsthand why she shouldn't say or behave in certain ways. She does learn from it, and she improves it, and she improves from it, but people lord it over her head for eternity, right? And I do feel really bad for her when that happens, because it's like, look, that happened many years ago. It was a different time back then, and she didn't mean what you're implying to do it either, and she's kind of, you know, moved on from it now. It was a silly moment and we've all moved on from it, but I don't know, you've got these people who just like hate people for all eternity, and they virtue signal about people needing to like grow and improve and learn from it and apologize. But then when you do apologize, when you do actually show that you've moved on and grown from it, that just enables them to go even further. So that's why you never apologize. Even if you really feel bad about something and you are genuinely sorry about it, you shouldn't actually probably apologise for it, because they'll hate you even more for it. They see it's weakness and they'll go for the throat. So yeah, I do feel for the poor woman. She can make a mistake and then go, oh, whoops, shit, won't do that again. Sorry guys, my bad. Right? It just sticks with her forever, bless her. But it's not just Pippa. It's the same thing for any content creators. The internet it's like laser focused, particularly these days. It's laser focused, obsessed with finding public figures to just obsessively hate for all times, right? Like, we're living in an unprecedented age where someone on the internet says something I don't like, or they have like a political opinion you don't like, so you're gonna get doxxed, they're gonna swat you, and they're gonna call like child protective services on your kids, like what's happening with H3 Ethan at the moment, right? And then no one cares, right? And we've hit this weird point now where millions of people don't fucking care that people are doing this shit. Christ, yeah, take me back to 2006 when if you didn't like someone on the internet, you'd go in their DMs and you'd call them a faggot or something, right? I miss those days of the internet, honestly. Thank you very much for the 2 Swiss francs again. Thank you, buddy. I got flashbacks right now. Yeah, iDoops and the others still crashing out. Yeah, the fucking Hassan orbiter situation is crazy. I like Pippa and watch her pretty often, but the Ralph stream is what made me watch her more and eventually make her my OG. Yeah, it's kind of a point I've made in the FaZe documentary, James, is that the Ethan Ralph stream is the first flashpoint in what's made FaZe Connect successful, really. Even though it pertains solely to Pippa, really, because it was a Pippa stream. The consequences isn't really the right word as such, right? But the after effects of that Ethan Ralph stream are still felt to this day, and it's affected the entire company. Like, to some extent, the foundations of what FaZe Connect is today, the foundations of what FaZe Connect is now, it's essentially the Ethan Ralph stream and Hogwarts Legacy. Without those two major flashpoints, I'm not sure if FaZe Connect would still be around today. But that's not an indictment of the talents of FaZe Connect. Unfortunately, that's not how show business works. So, again, going back to Sleepy, right? You take a look at Sleepy. So Sleepy, if I recall, when I was looking at the funny numbers for some research purposes, I believe Sleepy was averaging about 900 to 1k on her VODs, right? Throughout the last 2 years or something. That's how big Sleepy was. And now she's regularly, like on the regular, getting like 8 to 10 plus K on her VODs. So she's 8 to 10 times bigger than she was. And Sleepy hasn't improved by a factor of 10 from when she wasn't in FaZe Connect 3 months ago. It's purely marketing, an opportunity to show a wider audience what she can do. That's led to Sleepy's massive funny numbers, right? And it's the same thing with FaZe Connect. People look at, you know, that you can see the big correlation between FaZe Connect's popularity and Tenma and Pippa's growth, particularly throughout the first 2 years. But all it took was for violin VTubers hitting the algorithm about a year ago, because HoloLive brought on a violin VTuber, and that gained Urika about 40k subscribers in like 2 weeks or something ridiculous. And that's really like how it is sometimes. And that's why I kind of started making those like talent breakdowns videos in the first place. It's because it's like genuinely I thought, hey, you know what? I'm going to make videos on FaZe Connect, right? And then I thought that genuinely, after years of watching FaZe Connect, that was the first time I ever actually paid attention to their funny numbers, and I was absolutely shocked to see that only 2 of them had over 100k subscribers, right? And I was like, fuck it out. These VTubers are fantastic. How are they like sat at like 40, 50k subs? That's outrageous. And yeah, it's like the proof is in the pudding to what happened to Urika. All it took was for more people to be exposed to Urika, and like tens of thousands of people were like, holy shit, I fucking love Urika now. Right? That's all it takes, just the right exposure. That's all it is. I joined FaZe through a lot of people joined FaZe Connect through the Ralph stream. If they didn't join through the Ralph stream, then they joined through Hogwarts Legacy. There's still, and that's the thing, right? Again, when we go back to like the chuds and the support and the 4chan element of the FaZe Connect community, we can always look back to that Ethan Ralph stream. We can point to the Ethan Ralph stream. We can go, look, those people, the vast majority, I reckon, of those 200 people who tuned in to watch Pippa on that Ethan Ralph stream, I bet you at least I bet about three quarters of them still watch Pippa in FaZe Connect to this day, right? Now that's dedication. That's a level of loyalty. You don't see anywhere else really except Hololive, right? And that's the real strength of FaZe Connect. It's a community that they themselves have fostered, right? So FaZe Connect have built the fandom, right? They've done everything that they've needed to foster such a deeply loyal fan base, and they continuously feed it and keep it on board. So that's really how FaZe Connect continues to succeed, is that they don't abandon that core base of like chuds, of loyal chuds who have been here since FaZe Wars 1, like the Ethan Ralph stream, whatever it is, or like the Hogwarts Legacy stuff. Need to keep giving those guys a bone and not abandon them in the hopes of chasing the, you know, the tens and thousands of fleeting VShojo or Twitch indie viewership, right? Because it's like dangling car keys in front of these people. Like all these people who are supposedly really big fans of Gura, right? Like that recent tourist who got outed. You know, that recent person who was caught of being a Gura tourist, and probably a massive chunk of people who claim to be super big VShojo fans or fans of people like Shy Lily and Fillion don't actually watch their streams. They barely even watch clips of the person. They certainly don't buy merchandise. They certainly don't to like leave comments or do anything to support their supposed Oshis or favourite VTubers in any way. They kind of just wear the whole VTubing thing as kind of like an accessory, right? Like those little charity bands that people used to wear that had like love and world peace and hope and shit on them. It's like, oh, look at me, I'm cool, I like VTubers, I watch the Gura, and then Gura debuts with another lolly model, and they're like, what the fuck is this grotesque shit? Why the fuck is Gura, why is Gura a lolly? Ruined. And it's like, how the fuck are you a Gold Gura fan and you despise Lolicon? I don't like Hololive, and I know well, that's not true. It's not like I don't like Hololive. I'm not a general fan of Hololive's branding. I do like Polka. I do like Mori. I do like Gooba. But you know what I mean, right? It's like I know fuck all about Hololive really, but even I know Gura is big into lolly, right? Like, oh, are you afraid of a 4-letter word? Everybody who's in VTubing knows Gura. Everybody likes Gura, right? Even if you don't watch Gura, everybody loves Gura. And you've got these weird tourists who come in and out themselves. Yeah. Yeah, the shorts tourist. Yeah. I forgot about that. Yeah, you get these shorts tourists. You get a lot of them in Rin Penrose's stream. This is a nightmare. I hate those fuckers. Like, they got the TikTok brain rot. Ugh. Somehow Valens didn't join in, despite attacking VLO for having a lolly. I think, to be fair, I think anal violence is actually smart enough to know that if... Oh, fucking he, she? I forget now. I forget which way Anna Valens is. I don't know. Them, they, it's, whatever. The thing about anal violence is I think even they're smart enough at the moment to know that if they start shit on Gura, that really will be like the fucking end, right? That's when the threats stop being threats and maybe serious attempts are made. Because, yeah, the lolly chuds are terrifying at the best. Thank you. They're terrifying at the best of times, the lolly chuds. The lolly chuds are absolutely like fucking terrifying. You don't want to fuck with the lolly chuds when they're in a very good mood. If you really upset the lolly chuds, fuck me, you'd better get a gun, get in the corner of your room, and pray to God if the lolly chuds get a hold of you. It's quite funny actually. Those of you who use Twitter, have you ever noticed, right? You go on Twitter and you see people with Shondo's Oshi mark, and you just know when you see someone posting with Shondo's Oshi mark, you're about to read Absolute Cinema. And it's going to be Absolute Cinema in one of two ways. It's either going to be Absolute Cinema because you're about to read the most unhinged, degenerate, terrifying shit you've ever read in your life, or you're about to read something from someone that is incredibly wholesome, intelligent, mature, lovely, and exactly what you needed for that day. Right? It's just, there's no in between with Shondo's fans. They're either absolutely fucking nuts or they're absolutely just fantastic people. I love them. I love Shondo's fans. I love Shondo as well. Again, it's a weird thing about tourists and antis in this industry. Honestly, I don't like Lolicon. It does make me a bit uncomfortable, Lolicon, but I can still that doesn't affect my enjoyment of people like Gura or Shondo. Right? If the two of them, they're going to do I just don't watch their ASMR or their or when they're like doing the kind of like lewdy emoto waifu thing, you know, I'll either stop watching, go do something else, or I can just look past that part I don't like and enjoy everything else as part of the talent. You know, it's like getting a pineapple. It's like getting a margarita pizza. I don't like pineapple, so instead of throwing the entire pizza out, I'll just take the pineapples out. I can enjoy the pizza, you know, with just ham and little bits of leftover pineapple that I might have missed. It's fine. But you get these people who are like, I don't like this thing, therefore it must be genocided, and fucking everyone who likes this thing is a paedophile or some kind of ist or phobe or is problematic and needs to be like destroyed. And it's like, fucking weirdo, fuck off. Yeah, it's like, just ignore the stuff you don't like. We don't have to like 100% of everything we all do. I like Shondo. Shondo is an absolutely terrific voice actor as well. Shondo has terrific wit combined with some of the finest voice acting I've ever seen. It's incredible how she's able to do that childlike voice all the time without breaking once, right? She's able to, like, she has such range with just that voice, but then at the snap of her fingers, she can then do a super deep, like our mommy voice as well. It's incredible. I'd like to learn from Shondo how she's able to perform such magic. Unfortunately, Shondo is a no male on stream VTuber, so sadly I will never learn the secrets of the trade from Shondo. But yeah, Shondo's fantastic. Yeah, I really like Shondo. Shondo Sparry lives rent-free in my head for a year already. Yeah. I feel really bad for Shondo as well. She's not had a great year, poor Shondo. It's really sad what's happened to Shondo. Her mother's dead. You know, she got there was a whole thing around the doxing and the drama over the man, like the boyfriend she's had in her life. And people going mental over that. It's really sad. I do feel really sad for female VTubers. I'm not one of those male VTubers who gets like really jealous and like bitter that female VTubers are as successful as they were. I actually pity female VTubers to some extent, because no matter what they do, they'll always have a significant number of people in their community who basically only pay them attention because they either want to sleep with that VTuber or they have a dream. They think they have a chance at maybe one day sleeping with that VTuber. I don't know, one of the best benefits about being a male VTuber is that I can rely on the fact that those of you who are here purely for either the content or for some reason you find me interesting or amusing, right? I don't have to worry about you guys only being interested in the potential of a relationship. And I wouldn't trade that for anything in the world, right? There's like 112 people watching right now. I'd rather have 112 people watching for whatever I'm doing or who I am, not for their own, personal reasons, if you get what I'm saying, right? My parasocial weirdos all just want me to be their big sister. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing though as well, Tempest, right? The thing about VTuber women with husbands is that chat always wants the husband more than the VTuber. Yeah, Shondo's fine as an indie and she appreciates her full independence and control. Yeah, I think Shondo is part of the appeal of Shondo is that she's kind of like early Schizo Pippa in a sense, right? Where it's like, part of the appeal of Shondo is you don't know if today's the day where she's going to go a bit too far and say something like really unhinged that would make normies and, like casual VTuber fans uncomfortable, right? Like, I think a lot of the stuff Shondo does would even have Sakana, come knocking on her door and telling her to stop, right? Like, I love that clip of Shondo playing Dead by Daylight or something it is, and she's playing like a killer in Dead by Daylight, and then she stops screaming. She is literally screaming at the top of her voice about how she hates women. I fucking love that clip so much. It's so funny. But I think Fishman wouldn't let her do stuff like that. Yeah, so good. Actually, yeah, to be honest, Kihara-kun, you've actually hit a very good point there that we've kind of overlooked, right? We forget, because there's so many fake girl failure people in this industry. You forget that there are actual VTubers out there who do generally have quite serious mental health issues, unfortunately. And we might laugh at the brilliance that's born from their insanity, but we mustn't forget that actually it's probably not actually funny having to live with that and struggling with that. So yeah, I love Shondo. I think her neurodivergence, shall we say, makes her a fantastic entertainer. But underneath all that, though, Shondo is a very lovely, brilliant person. Right, you can see that in those wholesome moments she has where she again, like Pippa does the same thing. But both Pippa and Shondo have those moments where they stop being an entertainer for a minute, because both of them do recognise that a good chunk of their fan bases are like people maybe who don't have friends, they're depressed, they're terminally online, they've got no one to turn to, like no one loves them, you know, they're a bit lost in life. One of the major reasons I really respect those two is that those two recognise that they have that part, that big section of their fan base, and instead of looking at that as a financial opportunity to cash in, to really, you know, expand like a level of parasocial control, to rob them blind, right, like a big piggy bank kind of thing. They give these very wholesome speeches about, you know, positivity. You know, there's the pact, right? We've got the pact talk. You know, don't kill yourself. They encourage their fan base that tomorrow can always be a better day. Things will get better, and that people will be sad if you die, and that you need to keep soldiering on and make something of yourself, right? And that's fantastic. I love it. I love how those two do that. They don't need to do it. They have no responsibility. It's not their problem. It's not none of their business to do that. But they go out of their way to do it anyway, right? And I think that speaks very highly of their moral character, both Shondo and Pippa. Very empathetic. Yeah, they're very empathetic, those two. I love them. Love this too. Very good people. And it's like, yeah, again, that's why it annoys me. And it's why I feel almost like, even though I don't watch Pippa, I feel compelled to defend Pippa a bit, like a White Knight or like a Kapipi or something. It's like, look, if you have a problem with Pippa's content, right, you think you think that her content's shit or boring, or you think she's annoying, whatever, fine. Criticize Pippa on the merits of her content, but don't insult Pippa on the content of her character. Fair enough, despite being seen as this big boogeyman, this big problematic AI supporting bitch, she's one of the what's the word? Pippa's generally like one of the most I can't even think of a word to describe it. She sets like a good example. She's like one of the best examples of decent moral character that VTubers could learn, or anyone really could learn from, because an awful lot of egocentrism, selfishness, you know, grifting, opportunism in VTubing, right? And it's always the people who portray themselves and like make a branding out of me being, oh, I'm lib-based, wholesome, cute girl, I never say anything wrong, and I'm always, you know, I always have the right politics, I'm no confrontation, I'm always perfect, I'm always nice and friendly and lovely, and when people are mean to me I break into tears and I cry and I get so upset because I'm just so cute and ooh hecky wecky, let's all love each other's shit, right? There's loads of shit like that, and then it's always these people who are like the biggest mean girl fucking cunt bitches, right? Whereas it's always the so-called nasty, you know, openly bitchy people who are problematic and evil and nasty are always like the most, almost always the most wholesome people, right? Like Fillion is a despite some of her problems, Fillion is across the board actually a very nice, lovely person. Fillion always gives opportunities to smaller VTubers. She always treats people, regardless of their size or content style, as equals. Fillion's always just focused on having a good time and vibing with people. Fillion's a great character. You got people like Pippa and the evil Pipkin Pippa, the evil Kirsha, the evil Foxu, the Foxu news lady, the evil Shondo, Lolicon, weirdo. You know, all these people, they're all lovely. They all put to shame the so-called moral character of their biggest detractors, people like Anna Valens and Yara and Bint. People like Bint, right? God, Bint has the worst case of Kirsha derangement syndrome I've ever seen, though. Fucking hell. I think Bint spends all day, every day on Twitter, just like... imagine... Oh my God, yeah, fucking hell. Imagine how much of his life Bint has wasted hate watching Kirsha. Like, fuck me. And it's quite funny as well how he keeps catching like losses as well. Like every time, Bin, like what was it? 3 days before that big like reveal about Twisty came out, Bin was fucking talking about how much he loves Twisty, and then the Twisty video comes out and he takes another massive loss. It's so funny. Wait, Noah Talent is dead? Really? What's that just happened now? Oh no, that's so sad. Oh god, I have to check that out later. God, yeah, there seems to be a lot of VTubers like dying or having serious medical issues lately. It's fucking VTubing, man. It's like the Hunger Games. Only one can survive. Fucking hell. People aren't doing so good. Oh, they're not actually. Oh, they're not actually. They're not dying. They're leaving. Okay, I thought you meant she'd actually died. I thought you meant she'd actually like died in an accident or something. Fucking hell. Boat goes binted. Yeah, yeah. Okay, let's move on from like the politics and then vintage shit now. Actually, let's talk about today's stream. It's meant to be about Face Collect, but you fuckers are a bad influence on me. You keep getting me going on tangents about VTubing in general. We'll go about that later. Thank you very much for the 2 Swiss francs, Vega. 2 talents left. We'll saw you. Yeah, I don't know. I always thought it was a bad idea for Hatsai to join that organisation in the first place. I never had any confidence in that organisation. It's just I can't think of like a conscious reason to say that. I just had to look at it and I was like, this doesn't seem like a serious organisation. So I always kind of knew that it's going to end up this way. So about politics, no, we'll talk about politics Friday. That's why I love your streams, no homo. It's okay, you can be homo if you want to, Sample. Look, I am the sexiest, manliest VTuber in the world, okay? So I don't blame you if my irresistible musk attracts me to you, okay? Look, it's not gay. It's not gay if you love Lord Maulington, okay? Now look, Lord Maulington doesn't roll that way, but I don't blame you if you do though. I understand it. I still remember Armchair's Noah stream. God, yeah. Oh, God, yeah. How long was that Noah stream again? Was that one of the 5-hour ones? I bet I have bad memory. I can't remember. You want Randon the Orcs in though? Well, I don't know. I don't know. All right, Randon's done some pretty crazy stuff in his time. Nova, yeah. Yeah, Nova always seemed like a scam to me, Azahara. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, it always seemed like a scam to me. Whoa, thank you for the 12 months, everybody. God, it's been a year now, has it? Fucking hell. That's not musk, that's wet furry hair. No, I'm not a furry. Okay, oh, fuck, I almost a hotkey again. Oh, is it this one? I'm not a furry. No, it's not this one. I'm a big, strong, burly man. Oh God, please don't end broadcast. There we go, hey. There we go, look, I'm not a furry, okay. I'm a big, strong, burly man. And furries are gross, furries are weird. Furries are weirder than lollicons. You will never catch me. You will catch no... I don't have a fur affinity account. I'm not gay. You'll never catch me with any fucking furry fan art in my tags, my browser history. I'd offer to show you my browser history, but you're not going to see my browser history, just in case. Just in case there's something on there I forgot. But I'm not a furry. Okay, let's actually talk about this fucking slide now. So, if you X in the chat, I'm going to call ICE and have you deported, because I know about 90% of my fandom are capitalists, right? And if there's anything I know about the capitalists, 99% of capitalists are brown-skinned Mexicans from Mexico who are for some reason white supremacists, right? So don't you fucking start Xing in the chat or I'll have you all deported. I have JD Vance, okay? I have his mobile number. I'm gonna actually probably JD Vance isn't the best person to call because his wife is Indian. Fuck. I'm gonna call. Oh fuck, what's his name? La migra Coran. Vámonos, hermanos. Oh, what's his name? Tim Hoffman. Yeah, I'm gonna call Tim Hoffman, and we're gonna deport you and your entire families. Okay. You know, when they started offering press passes to journalists to ride along in like the ICE deportations, if I were an American, right, I would have no cap, right, no shit, genuinely, I would have done it. I would have live streamed myself, like full face of real. I don't give a shit. I would have gone on those ICE ride alongs and I would have reported that to you guys. I fucking love that shit. Hell yeah. But it's okay. It's okay. No, I do. If you're Mexican and you're a legal Mexican, I do like you. I do like you. If you're on the legal Mexican, I mean, I still like you, but I'm still reporting you. Hopefully, then that will free up space for me. But yeah, I do feel bad for Sayu as well. As you're right. Sayu has had really bad luck with her VTubing career. But she's not doing too bad though, is Sayu. She's not doing too bad, but things aren't really going her way. She seems to have bad luck. Yeah, reports friendly. Sayu needs to come to the Fishman. I don't know. This might be a very hot take. I don't think Sayu. Actually, I guess she would. Actually, independently, I'd actually say I don't think Sayu is actually good enough to join FaZe Connect. However, Sayu does get along very well with Irie. So on the basis of that working relationship she actually has with some FaZe Connect talents, I guess she would work as a kind of like preferential hire to FaZe Connect. But again, the thing about Sayu is that she's not really different. She doesn't really offer too much. She doesn't really differentiate herself enough from the other FaZe Connect talents really to. I don't see a place for Sayu in the current FaZe lineup really. They don't need more VTubers like Sayu. They need more people like Cleo and Mari En really. People who are completely who bring something actually quite truly unique to FaZe Connect. I think that's the way they should keep going. Maybe a new invader in the future, yeah, sure. Not a new VTuber. And the problem is with Sayu as well, again, not really her fault in any way, but she does bring some problems and she does bring a lot of baggage with her as well. And that's the thing with Sakana. At the end of the day, Sakana's running a business, and I imagine that even if he really likes the talent and he thinks she'd be a good fit, he probably doesn't want to onboard any people who could cause his company a lot of problems, right? And I think that the hatred some people have towards Sayu, particularly the Niji sisters, would maybe attract a little bit too much hate to FaZe Connect. Maybe he doesn't want that smoke. Yeah, that's the thing, right? It's like with Kersha. Please no gacha. Yeah, we don't need any more gacha slop. Exactly. God, fucking Lumi doing her gacha slop arc made me stop watching her for like 8 months or something, right? I really don't like gacha slop. People need to stop doing it. Mari En is weirdly wife material. I never realised. Yeah, Mari En is an enigma. That woman. Mari is like an enigma. She's tonally like all over the place, kind of. She reminds me of like what's her face? That character from Clannad. You know, in Clannad, you've not Kyo, not Tomoyo, not Fubuki. The like Kyo, is it? I think it begins with a K. Like the math genius, like the autistic one who speaks very slowly in Clannad. She reminds me of her a little bit. She's kind of... No, she's Austrian. She's Austrian, right? I think she's from Austria. But yeah, to Mari En is like Tony all over the place, because one minute Mari can just be saying the darndest, cutest, most menherish shit, like out of nowhere. But then like 10 minutes later, she's being like really wholesome and lovely. And then she'll go back to singing like... she'll go back to singing the masturbating song, right? And then like 5 minutes later she'll be vibing to stop and wiggle with it, yeah, stop and wiggle with it, yeah. I fucking love that clip of Mari vibing to that song. It's so good. It's actually made me really regret. I was like, why the fuck don't I have a toggle like that? I need a closed-eyed like smiley face tip wiggle emote. That looks so cute. It looks mega cute. Yeah, but yeah, Mari's great. I finally have an excuse to watch more of her and Cleo. The problem is I've never watched those two as much as I'd like to because they're mainly like Twitch streamers, right? But now they're on YouTube more. It's like, oh cool, I can actually watch these two now a bit more than I'd like to. Yeah, we can't. That's the thing. There's so many fucking talents these days. We can't watch anyone. But anyway, okay, let's actually get on the fucking slide so I can go to bed at a reasonable time tonight. So after 4 years of FaZe Connect, FaZe Origins has been around for 4 years now, and FaZe Connect is the last man standing. of its generation. Did you know, right? Like, obviously, Nijisanji EN is still around, which came before Phase Connect, and Hololive is still around, which came before Phase Connect. But those two started off as pretty big organizations already, right? Like, of all the small to medium corporations who have come after Nijisanji EN, of that 2021 year, Phase Connect is the only one that's standing, right? Like, Tsundere dead, Prison Project's dead, RIP Prison Project, I fucking love Prison Project. EIEN Project is basically fucking dead. They're all fucking dead. It's one great big graveyard. Cyberlive is dead. They're all dead. Just Phase. Comet is dead. Everyone's fucking dying, sadly. Project Kawaii died. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yep. I fucking love Nana Asteria as well. I was going to make a documentary on Nana Asteria as well, similar in the same veins that I'm doing my Phase ones. But I actually saw on Twitter that someone is going to spend 8 months making a documentary on Nana Asteria. So I'll let that guy do the Nana documentary. I'm going to do I'll do Shiki instead. So I think by the time I'm done with my Phase stuff, it'll be about 7 to 8 months anyway. Then I'll have time there to do a documentary on Shiki. But yeah, I am going to be doing documentaries on the Prison Project people as well. What they're doing now, like their histories, same like I've done before. What are your thoughts on Phase, a V Shoujo comparison? As in, like, what do I think about comparing Phase to V Shoujo? I'd say generally speaking, I wouldn't really call V Shoujo a VTuber corporation. It's an invitation-only cool girls club. Really, that's meant to be a networking kind of branding thing that does middle management for its talents, so that they don't have to worry about business, merch, and networking. They can just concentrate on making the content that makes them money and famous in the first place. So I don't think Phase and V Shoujo are directly compatible. I think when it comes to the VTuber corporation hierarchy, V Shoujo isn't one. It's not. So the biggest VTuber corporation is Hololive. The second biggest is Phase Connect, in my opinion. That's how it should be seen as. And I guess just to kind of end on V Shoujo before I finish this Phase slide, what I'll say is this: I think that V Shoujo has kind of got itself into a bit of a sticky wicket because they've been so selective over the years with both their friend group and who they're bringing in. They've kind of like run out of interest. They basically run out of friends who could probably like seriously gain something from V Shoujo. Now, no matter how exclusionary, no matter how elitist V Shoujo is, everyone's going to apply to V Shoujo on open auditions anyway, because, you know, V Shoujo, talent freedom, your shit's paid for, and you're still basically an independent. You'd have to be a fool to turn down that opportunity, right? So people are still going to join V Shoujo regardless, no matter how scandalous their recruiting processes are. However, the problem is that V Shoujo may find itself in this situation where it does have to have genuine open auditions, because I can't think of many people now who of like their friend group who would be invited, who would actually want to join V Shoujo, right? They've kind of got themselves into this weird little situation now where anybody who's popular enough to be part of the Cool Kids Club is just happy being an orbiter of the Cool Kids Club. And the kind of people who really want to get into the V Shoujo fan club probably aren't going to be able to offer the company much to be worth their slot in the Cool Company Club. I reckon that's kind of my interpretation of the situation at the moment. I think V Shoujo is in a bit of a recruitment and retention crisis at the moment, and if they really have been bought out by Brave Group, it's going to be even worse. So yeah, we might actually see the collapse of V Shoujo. Thank you very much for the £2, Raimi boy. Thank you very much. Sorry, not that much. Raimi, don't say that, Raimi. Look, guys, I never expect anything from any of you. I appreciate just your time and attention. Well, okay, it sounds gay when I say your attention, but you know what I mean, right? I'm not an attention-seeking woman, okay? But look, guys, just turning up to the stream, saying hello, support in spirit. Gay? What are you gay? Right? So I just appreciate you guys just rocking up from time to time and saying hello. That's all I need. You don't have to send me money. I don't expect money. I don't demand money. That's why I don't have a Patreon or Throne or anything. I don't want anything from you. I make content purely because I just enjoy making it. That's why I'm so weird and kind of like non-meta and especially emphasis on the weird part, right? Is I'm just here to have fun for myself, really, and you're like my captive audience, who I'm kind of forcing to have fun with me, basically. But no, thank you very much for the £2, Remy, buddy. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Here's some money. You stole it from chat. Remy. I mean, I always approve of thievery. Thievery's based. If Origins last until the 6th of July, they will become the longest intact... Ooh, that's an interesting statistic, Inferno. You're right, yeah. They will be the longest intact generation. Oh, another Phase Connect win. Hell yeah. Let's brag about that in the Twitter comment section, boys. And I wonder what reasoning is there to join VShojo when most of the original members that created the exclusivity group is gone. Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, yeah. I mean, what's the... If you're good enough to be in VShojo, why would you want to join VShojo, right? There's no real point at this point, really. Yeah, don't get it. And with the partition... With like the departure of people like Giga in particular, who left because they find the whole middle management aspect insufficient to their needs, then... Yeah, why bother? Imagining auditioning for VShojo and after 4 years of them not doing anything with it, you suddenly get accepted. You join them, but you get bought out by Grave Group. Oh no, that would be so tragic. That would be the perfect opportunity, right, for you to do that. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I got in this situation kind of moment, right? God, that'd be so tragic. It's like, I've got some good news and some bad news. The good news, you've made it into VShojo, congratulations. The bad news, you're being managed by Brave Group. So, good luck. You're going to collapse in 6 months and you're going to get no support of any kind. Hey, enjoy yourself. Well, you can. Thank you very much for the 5 memberships, Daniel Sierra, buddy. That's very kind of you. Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you. Well, you know what's really funny as well, actually, about gifting memberships? It's that gifting memberships, like, tells you who's lurking in your chat as well. So it's like I'm seeing some names in here, and I'm like, this person's here. They haven't said anything in the chat, but hello, friend. I mostly lurk, but you tend to stream during work hours to me. But you make for good background noise. Thank you. I like that. I'm very insecure about my voice, so I like it. At the same time, I'm like a woman, right? I'm like a menhera woman when it comes to my voice. So like, I've said this before, but I like it when people compliment my voice. But then at the same time, I have like a dizzy moment where I have like the Pippa's nice shoes moment at the same time, where I'm like, I'm happy you complimented my voice, but then at the same time I'm like, no, I don't have a nice voice. You're taking the piss out of me. You hate it. I sound gross. Fuck you. I'm not a gay icon. I'm straight. I'll show you later when I show you the Yuri cosplayer's great big massive tits. I'll show you I'm not gay. Thank you very much for the gifted membership, iStudy, buddy. iStudy, by the way, absolutely based fellow Mishru enjoyer. I've been watching Mishru a lot recently. I fucking love Mishru. She's just so funny. Great vibes. Oh my god, the shoes, bro. I know, right? It's a smooth voice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Welcome. Hello, my darlings. Welcome to the ASMR stream with Lord Maulington. Like, for male ASMR, do people prefer, like, the deep voice, or do they prefer, like, the twink voice? Like, do people like it when I speak very, very lowly? Or do they like it when I'm more like Merryweather? And I'm like, oh, chat, I love you very much, chat. Moi. I prefer the deep voice. I just sound like Judge Dredd when I try to do a deep whispery voice. There's a stream idea. Why don't I do Judge Dredd ASMR? Chat, you've been found guilty of being homosexuals. How do you plead? Defense noted. Hayeks. Hayeks. I knew you'd say that. You have 10 seconds to comply, chat. I am the law. Drop your weapons. Hang on. In the first age, in the first battle, one stood. She chose the path of perpetual torment, and in her boiling blood, she chose. Do the one. Is that the Cookie Monster? I'm the Cookie Monster. Give me cookies. 1, 1 face connect talent. 2 face connect talents. 100 years in the cube. Let's do a quick tangent of the voices Maulington can do. Maybe should we? I don't know. We've already tangented so much. I don't think we have time for it, do we? Those who tasted the bite of his blame named him the Yabbit Slayer. I was thinking about making that my intro for Irie. Right, I basically do like the Doomslayer intro thing, but instead of Doomslayer, it's the Yabbit Slayer, and it'll be about Irie. New FromSoft narrator just dropped. Well, that's the thing with FromSoft games. It's a mix and mix, right, between doing the deep, crazy voices and like the kind of posh British voices. Like you've got Pate in Dark Souls 2, where he's like, oh, hello, Marked One. If you go through this door here, Marked One, you will see a very nice surprise, I should think. They've always got weird laughs as well, right? No one in Dark Souls laughs normally. They always have like the weird, freaky, suspicious laugh. Hey, blast! Oh, we got an old boy. We got an old sweat here. Blast USCM. There it is. The man of many voices. Hell yeah! You tell me your name, Horsemaster, and I shall tell you mine. I would cut off your head, dwarf, if it stood but just a foot further off the ground. Yeah, I can't fucking remember what Legolas said, but Legolas is like, you would fall before your blow struck. Well, this is one dwarf. She won't ensnare so easily. I have the eyes of a hawk and the ears of a fox. Ooh! The dwarf breathed so loud we could have shot him in the dark. Tree! I am no tree. I am an... You playing Dark Souls 2 now? Mega based. I fucking love Dark Souls 2. Best Dark Souls game by far. I love Dark Souls 2. Anyway, chat, you don't like it when I do the Twinkie femboy voice, chat, but you see, chat, all the American women love it when they have a bumbling British man, and more like an Englishman, really, because people from Scotland, they can't quite talk like this, but you'll see you get people from England who are in their late 20s and wear tweed, and whenever they see a pretty blonde American woman, they're like, oh my dear, I'm so terribly nervous, but if it's quite all right with you, with your permission, of course, I would like to compliment you on your fine looks this evening. It's like the Hugh Grant voice, right? UK voice. That's more of a Dizzy Rascal voice, UK voice. It's like, I think I'm bonkers, but you think I'm bonkers, but I just think I'm free. I'm Harry Shotter, innit? I'm from London, blood. I'm from fucking London, mate. You got a problem with that, blood? Fucking stick you, wouldn't I? Innit? I fucking stab you, cunt. Sounds like Dizzy's chat, yeah. You sound like a bundle of sticks. It's funny because I can say that word because I'm the streamer. You can't say that word. YouTube blocks it out. That's funny. I can say fag as much as I want and you can. Get fucked, idiots. Anyway, let's get back to talking about Face Connect. You know, funny enough, I want to talk about a clip Pippa made earlier. Well, no, she didn't make the clip, right? But there was a clip from Fairla where Pip is talking about male VTubers and how they're weird. And I'm not doing anything to help the allegations here, am I, with this stream about male VTubers being fucking weird and creepy. But I love it, it's fun. Why the fuck would I want to be normal on the internet? Stop reminding me that British people exist. Yeah. Yeah, I think you probably saw me posting about it on Twitter, not being the male sex pest allegations. I'm not, but that's the thing. Pip has just made this clip. I've seen the clip, and I'm kind of proving her right with my first thing over the Yuri cosplayer. I'm being really fucking weird all stream. But we'll get to that in a minute. Let's move on. Okay, let's move on. Yeah, there's people like Asta, right? There are people way worse than me. So Face Origins has been around for 4 years now. I'm actually quite sad. I'm quite disappointed to see that there aren't still more mystery clippers after all this time. I know there's Animal Friends Part 2, and there was Yuki at Something channel as well, who used to do a lot of clips back in the day, but he's kind of stopped. He's slowed right down now, and he mostly did NASA anyway. But yeah, I'm quite sad that we seem to only have Animal Friend Part 2 for mystery clips. Now, I was actually thinking about doing mystery clips myself and like making mega compilations of my favorite mystery moments, and the reason why I'd know that they were really good mystery moments is because what I do, right, is I don't watch Mishru live mostly. I do sometimes watch her live, but I usually watch the bulk of her stream when it's on VOD status, because she doesn't have the translator on anymore during her live streaming. But you can use the YouTube AI translation tool when it becomes a VOD to get YouTube to translate for her. And the YouTube translator seems to be more accurate and quicker than the natural one that NASA still uses, for example. And I spoke to Hobosaki Clips, and I spoke to... I actually didn't speak to her. I need to speak to him. Mori. So Hobosaki does like Iori clips and CP clips, and he speaks a bit of Japanese. And Mori is bilingual. And I kind of asked them, I said, like, how accurate are these YouTube translations? And they said it's like okay, but ideally you really want like an actual speaker of Japanese to translate for you, because it gets a lot of it wrong and it doesn't quite understand like grammatical context. So I was kind of like, you know what, if it's okay, that might be good enough. But then at the same time, I'm kind of thinking that if I clip Mishru with like okay AI translated clips, the problem is I don't want to like misrepresent what she's saying, right? And that's like the worst thing you can do, I think, is directly mistranslate or like misrepresent what a streamer is actually saying and doing when you're making clips of them. So I'm kind of like, it's like, fuck. If I want to make clips of Mishru, I have to fucking pay a translator to, you know, proof check the AI translation basically to do it. But I might do it anyway. I might ask Mori to see what his rates are. If I get him to like translate a 10-minute Mishru compilation for me, see how much he charges. God, yeah, do you guys remember as well, Keikaku means plan? Do you guys remember when like translators for some reason back in the day would just randomly leave like Japanese words in the translation, but then tell you what it means in English at the top? It's like, why the fuck would you do that? Just put it in English. Like, all according to Keikaku, TN note, Keikaku means plan. Why did you tell me that? Why the fuck would you... What? Just write plan. I love you so much, Oni-chan. Oni-chan means brother in Japanese. Aishiteru. Aishiteru means I love you in Japanese. They want to show off how much Japanese I learned. Yeah, better than Crunchy Slop. Better than Crunchy Roll back in the day, yeah. Imagine if they like fucked around with that as well. Like they mistranslated it like translators do today. Yeah, you just made my point there, Mastin. Better than lying localizations that insert means of... God, they're fucking... I can't believe some of this shit that localizers do, man. Saying shit like poggers, like, you know, I don't think in the Demon Hunter world anyone would say poggers somehow, Mr. Localizer. Like, stop putting poggers in One Piece and like Demon Slayer. Okay, so yeah, basically it's been around for 4 years. I'm kind of sad that there aren't more Mishru clippers at the moment. I hope Mishru gets some dedicated clipper fans, because I really do love Mishru's content, and it'd be nice to have people share how much of a gem Mishru really is, right? It's like I made a whole video called Mishru is Phase Connect's like hidden gem. Mishru is so funny. Like, I was watching a very old Mishru clip the other day, when she was doing the collab with Leah, Yuri, and Yuri, right? The one where they're playing the forest. And Face Connect hasn't scrubbed all of the Yuri streams, by the way. Like, the collabs that all the other talents have done with Yuri are still up, by the way. So if you want to watch like old Yuri streams, you could kind of use that, I guess, to get a little bit of your Yuri fix. But I was watching an old Mishru collab with Yuri, Leah, and Yuri, and there's a moment where Yuri and Leah get in like the river, and they start like having a gay like shower session, and then that's the two of them like having a gay like shower session in the lake. They're going, "Oh, Mishru, Yuri, come join us, Mishru, Yuri, come join us," and then Yuri starts like taking the gayness to the 100th level, and they're like going, Mishru, come join us in the lake," and Yuri's like, "Ooh, showering with cute girls, hell yeah, I'm in." So you've got the four of them are in like the river, and they're like being super gay, and then I'm watching like Mishru's point of view, and I don't know, right? Don't take this anywhere, right? I don't know if I'm just reading into this wrong, but Mishru is quite literally doing the surprise to Pikachu. Mishru just immediately shuts up when she sees this gay spectacle, right? Mishru goes silent when she sees their gayness, and she's literally doing the surprised Pikachu face, and then a couple seconds after the surprised Pikachu face, she has a look of absolute disgust on her face, and it just made me laugh so hard because it's like, wait a minute, does Mishru hate the gays? I don't know. does Mishru hate lesbianism? I don't know, but it just looked really funny. She just like surprised Pikachu faces at this scene, and then her face just cuts to looking disgusted. It's so funny. She's just silent the entire time. She's just silently staring at them like. I just don't think it's natural, yeah. Oh, Mishru is based. I love Mishru. She's so funny. Anyway, yes. So, have you guys seen the 3D concert, by the way? Did you watch the Offkai 3D concert? Yeah, Mishru. That's the thing. I wanted to do like a compilation of Mishru during Phase Wars 2 to like the Doom soundtrack. I was going to make like a 10-minute meme compilation. Well, there's a 10-minute compilation of Mishru's finest moments from Phase Wars, and I was going to have like the Doom music in the background, right? And like the intro would be like a scene from John Wick, but with Mishru's face over John Wick, and it's like playing the Doom music, and like the goons are the Face Connect talents, right? And that's basically why I wanted to make Mishru clips, because I thought that'd be really fun. But yeah, I need the Japanese translator. You have? Good. Some of you haven't. You should watch the Face Connect concert. It's amazing. Actually, hang on. I've got some great moments from the 3D concert I want to show you, just in case you hadn't. Let me just get some of these up. Spoilers if you're gonna go and watch it, but here's some great moments from the concert.
I'm thinking it's kind of Kino. I'm thinking it's kind of Why are you laughing? You think it's good? Huh? You think it's good? It's so good. It's so good. Say it's good. It's so good. Say it's Kino. Leah, what do you think? Why is it good? I'm not gonna hurt you. No. I'm thinking it's.
That's fun. That's fun. That's cute. And again, it's crazy as well, right? Because Pippa's voice. Pippa's getting old, bless her. Pippa's getting old. She's no longer the quiet, cute, squeaking rabbit that she used to be. She's gone all quiet now. She's going all old lady on us, becoming an old woman. I mean, yeah, I think Urika would have preferred it if it was Leah hitting her. 53% of lesbian relationships. Is it really that small? I thought it was more than that. I did. It felt weird that Pippa didn't have a solo song though. Yeah, I guess that's true. But then, Pippa's not really hurting for solo songs at the moment. How many she got now? 3? 3 solo songs? Well, 3 original solo songs, right? There's... Wait, hang on. There's Pippa the Ripper. Wait, no, there's more. There's 4, isn't there? I think there's 4 songs. Pippa the Ripper. That second song that she did that I can't remember the name of. Ice Cream Machine. Oh, shit. What's the 4th one? Actually, is it 3? Shit, I think I'm missing one, aren't I? What's the 4th one? I don't know, I can't remember the 4th one now. God, I'm just looking at myself in a mirror, and my face, I look full gammon right now. My face is bright red from how hot it is here today. Fucking hell. Oh, she was sick when she went to Japan as well. That might have something to do with it. Okay. Rifle by your side. Oh, if I was an American, I'd have a rifle by my side. If I was an American, I'd have an AK-105 by my side at all times within grabbing distance, right? I'd be good to go on that self-defense situation. I fucking love Castle Law. Based a bit of policy there. Breakthrough. That's it. I knew it began with a B. I think it's Breakthrough. Yeah, you're right. I think one thing I find really interesting about Phase Connect's... Yeah, there's a duet she did as well, but I don't count that as an original song, no, Joey. I'm surprised at how many people don't realise that Pippa... Oh, wait, hang on. No, she did... Wasn't a duet with Lisa? Or did she do a duet with Pippi as well? CP as well? Or did she do it with both? Pippa's done a duet with Lisa as well. The Lisa one was pretty good. But yeah, if I was an American, I'd have a Night Summon AR-15 with me at all times. I'd have an AK-105 with me at all times. I'd have a Benelli M4 with me at all times. I'd have an M40 with me at all times. I would have a 38 Special with me at all times. I would have loads of revolvers as well. I'm not a pistol guy. I like revolvers. I prefer revolvers. Yep, 6-shooter. I like my 6-shooters. Leah number 1, Uru number 2. Yep. Okay, so yeah, the Idol Dream. Can you guys believe it? The Idol Dream was like a meme for the longest time, and now they're actually doing it. They're actually doing really good. I think, when it comes to the 3D concerts and stage performance, they've improved massively from Anime NYC from last year. It's kind of like I said before, right? I said that during Anime NYC, Leah really stood out to me. I could see in that moment when Leah first debuted her 3D performance. It was like I can see, right? It was like it was like getting a big face full of the Spice melange. I can see why Sakana chose Leah to be the face of Phase Connect, like in the first instance, because I think that Leah has like the best charisma. She's got the best stage presence. She's got the most confidence, right? She's like truly. The performance isn't cringe, right? But when Leah's performing on stage, she's living. It's real, right? When Leah's on stage, it's all real. She's living that moment. She's like Macho Man Randy Savage on stage. Leah is. She's not a guy playing the Macho Man Randy Savage. She is Leah in that moment. It's absolutely fantastic. I love her dancing moves. She's got sick dancing moves. But her ability to work the crowd, her energy, there's not a hint. There's absolutely zero hint in Leah's stage performance. There's no cringe, awkwardness, like, what's the word? Like self-consciousness. She has 100. She's 100% passion. She is fully into it. She doesn't give a fuck. She's gone fully into it, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Fucking flawless, brilliant Leah. She's absolutely fantastic stage performer. But that's not to say the others are bad. They've improved a lot though from the last year. I think during Anime NYC it was like very stiff and quite awkward at times, and that's to be expected, right? I don't hold that against like Tenma and Pippa and co, because it must be very nerve-wracking for them to kind of go to a venue that big and do that for the first time, and they're kind of all pretending to be characters when they're on stage that they aren't naturally on stream, right? Like Pippa doesn't actually really act like that when she's on stream. They're acting like fake cutie stage performing idols. So I felt like they were very stiff and awkward during Anime NYC in August of last year. God, nearly a year ago. But this time though, yeah, much better. There's still a bit of awkwardness there. There's still a bit of stiffness. There's still a bit of that. You can tell that I was a theatre kid, by the way. Yeah. By the way, spoilers if you didn't notice already. Yes, I was a theatre kid, by the way. Are you surprised? But there was still a bit of stiffness there. There were still moments when they were delivering their lines and kind of moving around the stage. You could like literally see. You could like see almost like the cue. They were like operating from muscle memory of cues from the rehearsal session, right? Is what that was. You can still see that in the performances of the others, whereas Leah is much more fluid and natural in the way she moves about the stage, but it's still a dramatic improvement from last year. So this time next year, I bet they're going to crack it and it's going to be absolutely perfect. So there's still a little bit of room for the others to improve, but it's still very enjoyable. Marked improvement. It's a fantastic experience. I love it. Very good. Uruka and Leah smashed. I mean, quite literally, yeah. They smashed the concert and then they probably smashed later that night, yeah. Leah was a ballerina, that's right. Yeah, Leah did ballet for a while. Keep yourself safe, sir. Absolutely, you can never have enough guns. Wouldn't be surprised to see more stiffness mounted by next showing. Yeah, exactly. Yes, genuinely, because you have the polar opposite politics of your average theatre brat. Yeah, but this is the thing though. When I was a theatre kid, I didn't want to do Shakespeare. I wanted to do like HBO Rome's Julius Caesar and shit, right? Like you know me, guys. All someone has to do is mention open borders, and I become Julius Caesar in HBO's Rome, where I'm like, I get on my horse, and I'm like, our beloved republic is in the hands of madmen. Now I can either go home with my sword in my hand and tear them down from the Caspian rocks. What the fuck does Julius Caesar say again? Or I can go home with my sword in my hand and fucking kill them all. I don't even need alcohol to be like that. Oh dear. He was a consul of Rome. A consul of Rome. To be killed in this sort of way. Quartered like some low thief. Shame. You mean Roman law? Is there any kind of law, you wretched woman? Oh my god, what a great show HBO's Rome is. Our generals Perseus and Panther, the Senate sends an army to fight Mark Antony, the treacherous rogue, and the sorceress Cleopatra. God, I can't believe they cancelled fucking Rome for Game of Thrones. What a massive letdown. God, give me Rome back. God, I can't believe Cleo, of all people, said hon forget. Fucking hell. And she got away with it too. I'm surprised she got away with that. Would have been even better if it was in Latin. I actually disagree with that one. Latin does sound cool. I did watch a German TV show about the Romans, and they did have like the Romans actually speak Latin in that one, and like the Germanic tribes spoke modern day German, and Latin did sound really cool. But I think if you like open up with characters, like if you open up the setting with them speaking Latin and then they gradually shift into just like speaking English normally, I think that has like the kind of same narrative effect really. I think it's too difficult and it adds like unnecessary complications to the publication if you expect people to actually learn Latin and enunciate it properly, like during the line readings. But yeah, it would be nice, sure, if everyone could just speak languages in the natural language. Yeah, Rome was amazing, but yeah, historically it was yeah, I don't think there was a centurion and his fucking like legionary just like going around and single-handedly like altering the future of like human history with their shenanigans. Although I fucking love Lucius Vorenus. Like Lucius Vorenus really is like the salty old like NCO, right? Lucius Vorenus is like the perfect E7 who's been in the service for like 20 years and he's just fed up with everyone's bullshit. When he fucking walks up to that one legionary who's like guarding the entrance to Caesar's palace and he goes, "Soldier!" And he high knife hands him and he goes, "You are on duty." It's like, fucking hell, I've literally seen that in real life. Peak NCO energy, that. I like being described as those two Forrest Gumping around Rome. They are Forrest Gumping around Rome. That's the perfect way of saying it, yeah. Nothing like a nice Felonium grape. Hey, Centurion? Where are my children? Okay, back to Phase Connect. So Idle Dream's doing very well. About a year ago, I said that Lisa may have made a mistake in potentially... A year ago, I said that Idol Corp was the better VTuber corporation for aspiring VTubers who wanted to do 3D concerts and singing to go to over Phase Connect. And actually, it looks like I was wrong about that. Yeah, a year later, I think Phase Connect has now exceeded most of its competition. I would still say that V4 does 3D concerts better than Phase does, but they're not too far behind. So yeah. Poor Lisa, if it was on the table, poor Lisa should have probably joined FaZe, bless her. But maybe that's still on the cards in the future. I hope Lisa does make it into FaZe one day. But yeah, the Sad Girls in That Idle Dream is actually becoming a reality. I do have the suspicion that I think some talents aren't quite happy with how slowly it's advancing, right? Because it's we're in UA4 of FaZe Connect now. And really, it's mostly just the Origins girls who have really had their real chance to shine in the limelight on stage, really. I know like people like Rie, Sheena, Irene, the others have had a little bit of time to shine with the Phase Connect music songs, right? And maybe some like solo stuff on Offkai. But I was watching Rie's Offkai 2025 like deconstruct like post Offkai stream, and Rie seems like very hungry to like get on and keep doing more things and expand and do more stage performance and do more music, which is good. I think that's really good. That's very promising. That shows that that despite being in the organization for quite a while, the talents are still very hungry to develop themselves professionally, and that's very much what you want to see at this stage still. And it's quite remarkable that after 4 years they still have that aggression, they still have that hunger inside them, because after 4 years, even after 3 years, that's the point where most VTubers start to get burnt out and they start kind of coasting. I want to transition more to just being kind of like low effort, vibing, get out of bed and start gaming streamers. So it's nice to see that at least some of the FaZe talents want more, and they're ready to like put that effort in and fight to have the, to keep the company going and to go on and do more impressive things. So I think that's very promising to kind of show you the kind of like lifeblood, the health of FaZe Connect as an organization. If most of them have that mentality, then yeah, I can see FaZe Connect actually living at least another 4 years, because kind of like what I said in my last stream a couple months ago about FaZe related stuff, I do ponder how much longer some industry veterans in VTubing will want to continue doing it, even amongst FaZe Connect, right? So I always do wonder, because Pippa and Tenma have been streaming, like, and Lumi as well in particular, have been streaming long since before their current iterations, and anyone after doing anything, for like 6, 7, 8 years or whatever, is you're gonna get burnt out, you're gonna get fed up of doing it. So that's kind of where my mentality came from, where I was like, I'm not sure if most of these VTuber orgs will still be around in 5 years, but if they can keep this hunger going, then actually it might be perfectly reasonable, it might be perfectly feasible for this to happen. So yeah, we'll see. I'm a bit more optimistic about the future with FaZe now that FaZe Origins, FaZe Invaders Quest has done so well, and yeah, the talent seem to be still good to go, good to fight. That's good news, I think. I think what's interesting to see as well is there's kind of been like a wacky races kind of thing going on between the different talents in FaZe Connect. There's been like, for like the longest time, FaZe Connect was basically like, from the big funny numbers perspective, it was mostly the Tenma and Pippa show, really, right? Like, when you think of FaZe Connect, you just think of those two. And kind of what's happened over the years, quite surprisingly, is that people like Rio, people like Mimo, people like Urika as well as Leah as well, have kind of just like shot up out of nowhere. And at the moment, it's interesting, we might see a situation where Amanagawa Shina might actually overtake Tenma and become like the second biggest member of FaZe Connect, which is crazy. I mean, it's absolutely well deserved as well, because Shina's a very versatile VTuber. Shina's fantastic, she's the Kanioshi. There's very little that Shina can't do, really. I think the only thing Shina can't do is play games very well, but then she's not alone in that, right? I mean, Shina's such a strong talker. She has such a way of I don't even know. It's like the same magic that Leah has, right? You tune into a Mimo stream, and she's cleaning a shotgun and she's just talking about shit, right? And it feels like 10 minutes, but 3 hours have gone by. Sheena has this ability and Leah has this ability, and it's incredible, because these two are the only people I know who have this effect on me. It's crazy. It's like it's like the hyperbolic time chamber watching those two stream. It's incredible. And what's interesting about Sheena's situation is that an awful lot of Sheena's subscribers come from her YouTube Shorts, right? She was a YouTube Shorts queen, kind of like Rin Penrose. However, unlike Rin Penrose, Sheena's actually been able to convert a massive amount of her subscribers into her long form content success as well. Now, that's an incredibly rare thing to do, to see a Shorts content creator not have dead subs and like dead viewers when it comes to their live streaming entertainment. So again, Sheena is a bit of an anomaly, and it shows again how excellent Sheena's content is that she's able to do that. And as well, I think what Sheena's been able to do, and I don't think she's done it deliberately, but from what I've observed with VTubing over the years, is that a very quick, easy, mega way to start getting loads of popularity and exposure is to build like a list of memes or like a list of labels that people can attribute to you, right? So it's kind of like with Lumi, for example. I've been following Lumi since she got like 20 people a stream. And I remember like the major flashpoints that led to Lumi becoming very successful. The first one was when she started getting into Warhammer 40k for the first time, and she did a reaction stream to Astartes. And then when that happened, Lumi basically became known. She started to build her legacy, her meme legacy at that point. Then she got known as the dorky girl, she got known as like the dorky weird Warhammer liking VTuber woman. And then eventually that evolved even further into becoming the aggressively, like oppressively feminine, lemon, retard, yapping, mean, bitchy girl Stacey kind of woman, right? And that's essentially her kind of image now. And when she built all those memes in a very short succession around about this time last year. That's when she really started to like massively expand in like VTubing and get a lot of notice and become a much more watched person. And I don't know if it's just coincidence or if it's genuinely the case, but I find that if a VTuber can find just a quick, short, snappy meme or label that people can slap them with, then for some reason it just acts like it's like catnip, really. Just everyone all of a sudden just power drives in and they just love the person and they want to watch them. So kind of what Sheena's been able to do in the last year as well, she's done the Kanyoshi thing, right? Everybody loved the Kanyoshi thing. After the Kanyoshi thing, you've got you've got the shotgun thing, right? A lot of people liked it when Sheena was like cleaning shotguns and shit. And now you've got her crashing the fucking Sakana's Mercedes-Benz and damaging a boat while she's at it at the same time. So yeah, I think, and because of those three big events, the second puberty thing, yeah, because of all those events, right? That's leading Sheena to take like kind of, you know, rapidly rise up again. It's crazy. I reckon it's like this meme factor is what's doing it, because people can point to Sheena and they can go, oh hey, it's the crab woman, it's the Kanyoshi, oh it's that based VTuber who cleans her shotgun and shit, like yeah, we like her, right? And it's like the same thing with Pippa, even though Pippa's not really been the schizo yabbit for a while really as such. People still go, oh yes, Pippa's so fucking crazy and based and weird and schizo, and the police are gonna arrest her and the ATF want her and shit like that. And it's like she's not really done that. She's not really been like that for years now, but people still remember that and they still get like really happy and they still gravitate towards that, right? So I think that's kind of like the success, the quick, easy VTube. Oh yeah, how could I forget the fucking Sad Bee thing? The Sad Bee thing was huge as well. Not beating the Asian woman driver meter. Well, as soon as Sheena posted the news about her crashing the Mercedes-Benz, I was the first fucking reply. I was like the second ever reply, and immediately I fucking slapped in the replies. I slapped woman coffee emoji. I was straight in there with that joke. I was straight in there. I was straight in there with that meme. I was like, this is my time. The cuck chair. Oh yeah, Sheena doesn't like the cuck chair with a sad bee. Poor Sheena is getting a lot of memes in her community that she really doesn't like, bless her. The fucking cuck. How did the cuck bee start again? I forgot how that even started. You think it was intentional? I don't know. I'm not sure. I can't tell with these VTubers sometimes. Sometimes I think sometimes I do think they just get really sensitive out of nowhere. But sometimes, yeah, it's like, I wonder if they are being serious. It was Dez, was it? Of course it was fucking Dez. It's always Dez, yeah. But yeah, it's interesting to see the evolution of the talents now, right? Because if you take a look at Rie, for example, well, I've been a fucking Hime Bito now for 14 months. It's crazy how quickly that's gone. I've been a Hime Bito for 14 months now. I fucking love Rie. Like, it's crazy, right? If you're a Hime Bito, Rie is like posting membership content like 2 days, like 2 times a day, every day. It's mental. The woman doesn't fucking stop working. Like, Rie will be, for fuck's sake, I'm not a gay Hime Bito. Not all Hime Bitos are gay, for fuck's sake. What was I going to say? But yeah, it's crazy to see like Rie's growth though, because at one point it looked like Rie actually wasn't going to make it, right? At one point it looked like Rie really fucked up her start in FaZe Connect quite massively. She managed to royally piss off her fan base and turn them against her in the first instance for the most part. And then she was like really struggling to make like consistent, coherent content that really, you know, like defined her position in FaZe. So she did an awful lot of collabs with Sheena and Irie as like a kind of emotional support kind of thing, really, in a sense, I think. And it's just crazy to see how Rie went from the weakest member of FaZe Connect, who looked like she probably wasn't going to make it, and now she's one of the strongest members of FaZe Connect, and she's basically like almost leading them in music, really. Again, I have my own biases, right? But I think the top musician in FaZe Connect is probably Lumi. Like, the top vocalist in FaZe Connect is Lumi, in my opinion. And then I would say second would be... Second is really tough. I'd say Rie would be second place in terms of vocalists in FaZe Connect. I think there's a good... I think you'd be able to argue a good case for Ember as well, though. Ember. I think you could argue Ember or Clara for second, in my opinion. But... yeah, I tend to gravitate towards Rie being second more. But I think the difference between Rie and Clara is that Clara has more depth. I think Clara has like more depth to her singing than Rie does. Rie tends to sing with a smaller range. Rie has a smaller range than Clara does. Rie tends to like focus on. Rie has like two or three notes that she does extremely well, whereas Clara is able to like raise and lower her voice and hit the different notes with excellent timing. But there's just those notes that Rie does and is able to hit quite frequently. I just prefer the sound of over Clara. But I think from a technical standpoint, Clara is probably a better vocalist than Rie. I just prefer the sound of Rie over Clara. Clara has to be first. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Clara, you could definitely argue Clara being first. Again, I think like the differences between Lumi singing and Clara singing is more about which sound you prefer rather than the actual technicalities of it. I think there's a technicality gap between Rie and Clara, where Clara's ahead of her in that regard, but I think Lumi and Clara are equal in that regard. I think people fighting over number one is a good sign. Yeah, as long as it's like done in these, as long as it's like not done in front of the Faith Connect talents, and it's like a good-natured discussion over like who's the elite of you know, like a VTuber corporation, that's fine. When it becomes a problem is when people are unironically doing the my Yoshi's better than your Yoshi, shut the fuck up retards kind of thing, right? You can have a civil discussion about these things and then actually, you know, be constructive about it, right? You could talk about the intricacies of why, not just my Yoshi's the best because she's my Yoshi kind of thing, right? And if you don't like that, then you hate my Yoshi and I hate you. Lumi's pronunciation is kind of muddy when she sings. It's her style. Yeah, the criticism, I guess the major criticisms I have with Lumi singing is that she's too. It's like, you're right, it's a muddiness, it's a breathiness as well. What I tend to find is when you isolate Lumi's vocals a little bit, or you focus on Lumi's vocals when she's singing, she tends to end the sentences with a big exhale, like a too long, too intense of an exhale quite frequently. And there are situations where this works really well with the song, but it could be out of place in certain songs, right? She'll be like singing a song that's quite snappy, quite short, and you'll hear her end the stanza, and you can hear her go before she quickly moves on to the next part, and it's like, yeah, don't do that. Like, cut that out. Stop. Cut the breaths out more. You know, like, yeah, your breath management's off. But yeah, she's very pop oriented with her voice. She is. She tends to go with. She tends to focus more on the pop based songs, but when she wants to, she can do the. She can do like the X Factor kind of music, right? She can kind of do the Celine Dion kind of music, where she's able to hold on those sharp notes, and she's able to like hold on a note, keep it steady, do some falsetto, keep that going on for a long time to sing like a very sing like a very emotive, dramatic, deep song. She is capable of doing that. I think she just has a tendency more to gravitate towards pop songs because she likes pop, I guess. Yeah, she has the range, but she just gravitates more towards pop. Exactly, yeah. She has a clear preference, and funnily enough, I actually prefer it when she does like the deep emotional songs, right? I prefer it when she does that. Actually, I think I'm missing like donations and stuff. Have I? But I think I already mentioned it. But thank you for the $100 Mexican, Blast Buddy. I appreciate that very much. Thank you. Yes, thank you everybody who's donated and sent membership so far. That will be counted towards the donathon. So I'll have to see what I owe you after the stream and what we'll have to tick off for the donathons. Lumi needs to cover Katusha. Yeah, Katusha would be great. Yeah, I hate singing, but you know what? I love singing boy band, like early 2000s, like what do you call it? Early 2000s pop punk. I love singing Tempest in my karaoke's because I just think it's really funny, right? Like Yellow Card and stuff. Like, there's a place in Ocean Avenue. It's like doing my American voice, like the really nasally thing, right? Trying to do that, you know, young 20-year-old, super nasally, whiny, you know, emo voice is just fun to me. There's a place off Ocean Avenue where I used to sit and talk with you. Give me lemons and I can sing it with gusto. But you're a very good singer, actually, Tempest. Yeah, you're like I said before. When are you going on Broadway, Tempest? You're a great singer. Oh, excellent V singer Tempest. Tempest for Broadway. Clara always has a great voice, but always chooses the most cursed lyrics. Well, this is Clara's thing though. Clara's like the weird one. She's always talking about how she's always talking about her nipples and whipples and how much she wants to have sex with Loki and shit, right? That's just Clara's thing. She's weird. You're not too old to be on Broadway. We're gonna bring Broadway back. We're gonna bring Broadway back for the hags. Hag love. We're going down, down, and we're spinning around. And sugar, we're going down, spinning. You'll be my number one with a bullet. A loaded shotgun or loaded cocked gun or something? Cock it and pull it. We're going down, down, and we're spinning around. Fucking love that song. Fall Out Boy. Everybody loved Fall Out Boy in the early 2000s. And what was that other song? I chime in with a haven't you people ever heard of? Closing the goddamn door, no. It's much better to treat these kinds of things with a sense of poison rationality. So many good bands. But I always preferred the Stood, right? And all the people in the left wing, rock! And all the people in the right wing, rock! And all the people in the underground, rock! By myself, stupefy, I'm a numb again. Sorry, I'll stop now. I'll spare your ears, guys. I'm sorry. I'll stop singing. Oh, wow! That's good. It's good timing. Okay. FaZe Origin's been around for 4 years. Idle Dream isn't dead. Interesting to see, yeah, like who started off very weak in FaZe Connect, and now they're household names and everybody loves them. Momentum is much stronger this year. Yep. So yeah, this year FaZe Connect is doing very strong. I imagine they'll keep this momentum up until Generation 4, and then Generation 4 should be a blast as well. We should be doing good with Gen 4. So I imagine they'll get even bigger with Generation 4's debut. I wouldn't be surprised actually though. I reckon, right, I'm calling it now, I bet Generation 4 will be weaker than the latest FaZe Invaders generation because because Cleo and Mari were already quite big and were bringing a new fandom into FaZe Connect already, like a massive following outside of the FaZe fandom. And I reckon the Gen 4 talents, again, there's going to be new people. There's always new people turning up to debuts. You're always going to get attention of Vtuber fans from the other organizations. Are going to come check it out as well. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Gen 4 talents will probably feel disappointed relative to the FaZe Invaders, and there's going to be, again, we're going to see that situation of like cannibalization for a while of the existing FaZe fandom. But they're in a good place though, because the people who have followed Mari, Ian, and Cleo over, you know, we get to keep those guys, right? They're with us now. They're part of us, so they'll be. As long as we're getting in this fresh new blood, there won't be any problems, right? It's when no new bros are coming in, that's when there's a problem. So I think it'll be fine. I imagine that people who are looking forward to Gen 4, it will probably not be as big as FaZe Invaders, I reckon. Someone should sing the "Oh, You Touch My Tra-La-La" song. Who remembers that? Who remembers all the fucking like World of Warcraft? Like all the shit walking around, like all the shit World of Warcraft videos from 2005, where it'd be just like a character walking around to "Oh, you touch my tra-la-la, my ding ding dong." Fucking hell, that was a top meme back in the day. And the internet is for porn. The internet is for porn. Trekkie, the internet is for porn. What are you doing? Why you think the net was born? Porn, porn, porn. Trekkie. Oh, hello, Kate Monster. Trekkie, you are ruining my song. Oh, me sorry. Me no mean to. Well, could you be quiet for a while? Okie dokie. The skip button isn't working. There is no skip button. I've disabled it. You have to forgive me, guys. I'm 32 now, and I just want to live in 2005 forever. These are the good old days. Do you consider the origins successful? Isn't it kind of mixed? Wow. I guess it depends on how we're going to define successful, really. I would say that Origins has been successful. I mean, it's successful enough to have kept FaZe Connect going and for subsequent generations to come after it. I would say that I would say that Pippa and Tenma are probably where they deserve to be. Tenma could do. Tenma, actually, no. I think Tenma deserves about another 100k. Honestly, I'd say that Pippa is definitely is where she deserves to be. So I think Pippa's at least at her skill level at the moment. Tenma's probably slightly under where she should be, but that doesn't matter really. I'd say Uruka is probably. Yeah, I'd say Uruka's still fairly underestimated. I'd say Uruka deserves to be around about 200. Being oddly specific with this, and I don't really know why I'm saying this. This is just like the vibe. This is like the instinct of how I feel. I think when it comes to like Origins essentially and their levels of success, I feel like the most disappointing people in Phase Origins are Mishru, Iori, and Leah, right? And that's not necessarily a bad thing, though, because to be fair to the three of them, those three have a specific niche form of content, right? The three of them are very niche, unconventional, unorthodox kind of VTubers, right? So when you consider the uniqueness of who they are and what they offer, then they're not doing too bad, really. But I do think that the three of them do have the potential to be much more successful. Again, it's just about the advertisement for the three of them. The problem is with those three as well, is that the three of them do suffer. I don't know if suffer's the right word, but they do have like kind of. They kind of have like an underwhelming, I guess, kind of like PR attached to them, right? When I go back again to talking about the like memeability and the labels you can slap on them, because people get the wrong idea about Leah. I had the wrong idea about Leah for the longest time. For years of Phase Connect, I thought Leah was like some kind of like weird TikTok brained Zoomer idiot, basically, right? That's not entirely wrong, but I actually fucking love Leah. I think Leah's fantastic. She has an awful lot to offer people. She's a unique, interesting VTuber who's wildly fascinating. She gets some moments of like hyper fixation on like Final Fantasy or Yaoi and shit like that, right? And you either hate it or you love it. I know there are people who can't fucking stand it when she gets like that and they go off and do other things. I kind of find it endearing in a little sister way, right? When Leah gets really excited over like Final Fantasy and shit, right? I appreciate it's not for everyone though, but you know, it's like a big part of the charm of Uruka and Leah, I think, for those of us who are in our 30s or older. It's kind of like little sisters in a sense, aren't they, right? Like you see Leah getting really happy and going, yay, over Five Nights at Freddy's, and it's like, oh, look at her, she's so happy, God bless her. I just want to give her a big hug, right? That's part of the charm, but it's not to everyone. So I guess if you compare them, right, if you're doing the taboo thing of comparing them to their gem mates, then yeah, those three have like, I guess, disappointing funny numbers, but they're very much, the three of them are valued members of Phase Connect. They do have a very strong, loyal fan base who've been following the three of them for a very long time, and I do think there is very much that potential for them to hit. Well, I mean, Leah's already hit over 100k subs, but you know what I mean, right? Like, I do think I think definitely Leah is strong enough to hit at least like an 800 to 1k average, like consistent CCV. She could definitely do it. She just needs the right kind of marketing. And with Iori and Mitsu, those two have the debuff of being Phase Connect Japanese streamers. So most people, even in the Phase Connect community, don't actually realize that Iori is bilingual and can talk in any language, right? So that kind of, if someone could help Iori get over that debuff and help people understand in a quick, snappy way why you should care about Iori, then I think Iori would do much better as well, right? Because it's kind of like, how do you quickly and briefly describe to someone why they should watch Iori, right? And Iori's one of those, I think Iori's like a difficult streamer to succinctly explain to people why you should watch them. Because it's like, well, you should watch Iori. There's her ASMR. She's like she's very yandere coded, but she does Japanese streams. She does educational streams. She does streams where she does like voice acting streams. You know, she does like her Larry thing, right? She's just, it's just hard to explain really, like to someone what the appeal of Iori is. You have to watch it really to understand why people like Iori. It's more of a vibe. It's more of like a long burning vibe, kind of like Sleepy really. She's kind of like a yapper a little bit as well with Iori. And with Mishru, it's even more difficult to explain to people why they should watch Mishru, because the thing about Mishru is that she is I'm not just saying this because I really like Michiru. She's like my 4th favorite VTuber, right? You guys know I fucking love the Michi, right? And this is the thing about Michiru, is that Michiru is like fucking actually genuinely phenomenally like talented, and she's got an extremely wide range of talents. She's got this incredible sense of humor, comedic timing. She's very witty. She's got excellent voice. She's got an excellent vocal range. She's a wonderful singer, terrific voice actress. I could show you so many like fucking clips, right, of Michiru being a fucking comedic genius on the level of Tenma. But Michiru's problem is that, well, she speaks Japanese and she doesn't even put the translator on anymore. That's the big thing. And the other problem is, I guess, for Michiru, is that she's like, she's kind of like, she spends most of her free time role playing, or she's just like gaming, really, like a regular streamer. Is what she spends the majority of her time doing. So people don't recognize like these moments where she's being a complete like magical diamond, doing these incredible skits and like really funny blink and you miss it moments, right? It's kind of she's not consistently Michiru let me get my words out, hang on, let me think about this a second. So Michiru is superbly talented, and she has the capability to be she's very talented. She's got this, she's extremely well-rounded. She has an awful lot of skills, but she spends the vast majority of her time doing one particular thing, which is playing games, admittedly to a very high standard, and like just laughing and making sarcastic quips, right? And I love that. That's sufficient for me. I love it when Michiru does that. But there's just all these golden moments as well that happens in like a 12-hour stream. There'll be these 10-15 minute segments where it's like, whoa, this is some of the best entertainment, like streaming entertainment I've ever seen. And that's the problem, like with Michiru, is that you hype Michiru up to people, and they go, okay, I'm gonna check Michiru out, and then they'll just watch like Michiru spending 6 hours on Monster Hunter, where she's whacking things with a big hammer and going, order, and then she's giggling, and then they're like, is that it? Is that what you told me Michiru was all this? And it's like, yes, she is. Michiru can be all this, but it's a coin flip as to when she's just gonna stream herself whacking things with a hammer, or when she's gonna be like really fucking funny and clever and witty and like goofy and like start role playing and shit. Basically, that's how I'd say it. Yeah, Michiru would be far more popular among Europeans. She has this amazingly sarcastic, witty, dry sense of humor. It's funny. Yeah, the RP. I kind of like her Grand Theft Auto streams where she's doing the RP stuff, but I do think she's at her best when she's doing collabs with other Face Connect YouTubers, right? Because as soon as you get Michiru in like Michiru's weird. When Michiru's doing cooperative games with complete strangers, she will be cooperative with them, but the moment Michiru has to collab with FaZe Connect talents in a cooperative game, she's like, okay, time for genocide, I guess. She wants to kill everybody, right? Like in that Lethal Company collab last year where she released the bees on everybody, like as the bees were like killing all the FaZe Connect talents, she was like cheering and screaming for the bees. She was going, yeah, bees, kill, yay! She was like, it's like fucking hell. Like Michiru does not play nice with the FaZe Connect talents. Full murder hobo, yeah. Clip that, yeah. Yeah, GTA RP just feels to see. I kind of like it at one point. It can be funny at times because like Michiru. I remember watching a stream where Michiru was like buying a car in GTA 5 roleplay, and like this Japanese guy was like selling used cars or something. And he was like, okay, Michiru, get in the driver's seat, we'll give it for a test drive. And then Michiru just started like fucking playing the game like Grand Theft Auto in the car, and the Japanese guy was like, oh, I was terrified. As Michiru was just laughing, driving him around in the car at like 200 miles an hour. It's really funny. And yeah, the other funny thing about that Lethal Company collab as well, if you guys noticed, is that Michiru randomly like slipped into absolutely fluent English when she saw that NASA was going to try and take the beehive before her, right? Like Michiru saw the bees, she was like, oh, I'm gonna go for it, and then she saw NASA approach it, and then she just immediately spoke the best English I've ever heard her speak, and she was like, don't touch, it's mine, don't touch, it's mine, my bees. It's like, fuck, Michiru, okay, calm down, they're your bees. Christ, don't kill me. Yeah, it's like that meme of like Norwegian crime dramas where it's like, wait a second, I'm getting another call. Allow me to slip into fluent English. It's like that. When Mishru really wants something, she just slips into fluent English. The Lethal Company collab was the best thing ever. I agree. There's been a number of great Mishru collabs, like Mishru playing 7 Days to Die on her own was actually really good as well, because there's like this moment when the sun went down and she just went on like a 15-minute complete like freestyle philosophical rant about the souls of the dead and shit, and how she'd be the beacon of light to them. And it was genuinely like she was joking around and like shit posting, but it was actually like it was like berserk. I wanted to play the like Guts' theme from Berserk in the background. Basically, it was like really philosophical. It was great. Mystery is actually quite a smart lady. Oh shit! You know what? We've run out of time. We've run out of time. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna do a follow-up stream to this one, guys. And we'll talk about FaZeCon 2026 in the... Oh, God, we got to talk about my future ex-wife as well, actually. Sorry, guys. I let you down. I didn't talk about her on this stream. But, yeah, I'll do another stream later this week, and I'll go over FaZeCon 2026, and we'll go over my future ex-wife, okay? Oh, mama, yeah, hell yeah. I'm going to show you a lot more than this. Yeah, oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, tune in for next stream, guys. We're going to be spending 4 hours talking about this. Okay. Good night, everybody. Actually, thank you very much for tuning in. Let's see, is there anyone to raid? Anyone we can raid? Who's streaming at the moment? Oh, we could raid Sleepy. Let's raid Sleepy if she's got raids turned on. So yeah, thank you very much for the donation. Oh shit, actually, hang on, I forgot. Someone sent me some subscribers, didn't they? Who was it? Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much for the 10 gifted memberships, Cody, buddy. That's very kind of you, buddy. Thank you very much. I know if you're not here anymore, Cody, I'll message you on Twitter. That's very kind of you. Thank you. Sorry, I completely forgot. I got so caught up in the shit. But yeah, I'll see you later, guys. I'm going to just head on over to the studio and raid someone. So yeah, just feel free to go and do what you want, right? Okay, fucking hell, I always forget how to do this. Oh god, how do I raid someone else again? Oh god, I'll curse my old man brain. Is it edit? Customization. There we go, redirect. Okay, who's streaming? Neo, Raptor, Tema, Rita. Ah, oh, Sleepy doesn't have raids turned on, sadly. No, let's raid Neo Paulino. I like Neo. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, cool. Safe? Safe? Safe. Okay, there we go. Cool. Good night, everybody. Love you very much. Bye-bye. Ah, you are there. Good. Thank you, Cody. Thank you very much, buddy. Much appreciated. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.